Hello, hello, hello. I am Chun Hao and I am back with a video. So this video I will go through a Addmaths paper. Okay. So this is the trial 2024 Addmaths paper and it's the Selangor set 2. Okay. I actually did the Selangor set 1 already and I already upload like around 6 months ago. Yeah. So it's been a while since I last upload explanation video for trial paper. Yeah, so I'm back now because the trial is on this month, and also I see a few comments asking me to make trial videos for the batch 08. So one of my comment, actually two comment asked me to go through this paper, the Selangor Set 2 admits paper. So here I am. I will go through this paper with you, and hopefully this helps you for your trial that is coming soon lah. Okay, let's start now. All right, I will skip through the formulas. Okay, let's start with question number one. All right, let's read. Diagram 1 shows sector PQR of a circle. So let's highlight the sector. So we all know sector consists of three lines. So it's talking about this line, but not this line, guys. This is a triangle. So they say it's a sector. So sector should be this line. Okay. Yeah, because sector is a shape that consists of three lines, two radius and one is the arc. So this PR is the arc with center Q radius 8 cm. So Q is the center. So Q to R radius 8 cm, Q to P also 8. So I will label this now. So like that, the whole from Q to P is 8 cm also, right? Okay, and then they say sector PRS of a circle with center R. Oh, there's another sector, PRS. So I will highlight it also. So PRS, I'm sure it's talking about, okay, let's use another color. So maybe red color. So it goes like that, and it goes like that, and it goes like that. So as you can see, the center is at R this time, and the radius would be R to P and R to S, but we don't know the length. Yeah, they never tell us any information about the radius of this red color sector. So it's okay. Let's just leave it at that. And then let's see what else here. It is given that the length of arc PR is 6.4. Okay, this one you can label PR arc. Okay, the yellow color arc is 6.4 cm. It means we can find the theta by using the S equals R theta formula because we have arc, right? And we have the radius 8. So if you take 6.4 divide 8, you will straight away get the theta in radian. Okay, but let's see what they want. PQR, okay, there's still information here. PQR and angle PRS is equals to theta. Wait, what does it mean? Okay, let's think about this. PQR, okay, this is theta. And then PRS is also theta. Where is it? Oh, so I think they are trying to tell you this theta and this theta is the same size. Yeah, they are the same size. So later after I get this angle by using the arc formula, I can copy the answer and write it here also lah, because they are the same angle, same size. And A says find value of theta in radian. Yeah, we know how to do it already. I just told you, right? So which formula you will use? You will use the arc formula S equals R theta, and you will refer the yellow color sector. Okay, the red color sector, not enough information. Yeah, the red color sector, you don't have the arc, you don't have the radius. How you supposed to find the theta, right? It's not possible. But the yellow color sector, there's a lot of information. You have the radius and you have the arc. So you can find the theta. So S is the arc 6.4, R is the radius 8, and then the theta will automatically be in radian, but you're trying to find it. So you just write theta. And when you tekan 6.4 divide 8, you will automatically get the answer in radian. So the answer is 0.8. But let's write the unit 0.8 rad. Okay, rad stands for radian. Okay, now we are done. So now we can do B, right? But I feel like B, there's a mistake here. Okay, because if you look at the soalan here, they say show that the length of PR is 6.23. So what does it mean here? Show that the length is 6.23. Okay, PR, obviously the arc PR is 6.4, right? So I think what they're trying to tell you here is not the length of PR. It's actually okay. I think this PR is not talking about the arc PR. It's talking about this line right here. And this line is called the chord. Yeah, this line is called the chord. for the yellow color sector, because you can see that this PR line is actually the uh, side of the circle touch to the side of the circle like this, right? And at the same time, it's also the radius of the red color sector. Yeah. So we are trying to find the panjang here. So how do we find it? Okay, let's label the information first. So we know this is 0.8 red. This theta, just now they say already is same also. So how we supposed to find this now? Let's see. Okay, I think I know. You can use the chord formula. But we will use the yellow color sector, right? Yeah, the red color sector, not much info. So I can use the yellow color sector. I'll draw it out in case you don't see it. So you are trying to find this line, right? So the arc is 6.4, and the radian we have already 0.8 radian, and then this is 8 cm, this is 8 cm, right? So to find the PR line, which is this line right here, you can just use the chord formula. All right, the chord formula is 2r sine theta over 2. Okay, 2r sine theta over 2. So what you do, okay, to find the chord PR, you just sub inside this formula, 2r sine theta over 2. But of course, the theta has to be in degree, because when there is sin costan before the theta, when there's trigo sin costan before, you must make sure it's in degree. Okay, the r is 8, obviously, and then the theta cannot be 0.8 lah, it has to be in degree. So I'll just convert somewhere. Okay, I need some space here. Okay, I'll just put a box here and just convert it here quickly. So 0.8 radian, I have to times with 180 over pi, because that's how you convert radian to degree. You multiply 180 over pi. So the pi, I will tekan 3.142. So now I'll press the calculator. 0.8 times 180 divide 3.142. Okay, my calculator give me 45.83, but usually I teach my students to write in degree minute. It's up to you lah. You want to write decimals, okay? So I write degree minute. So it's 45 degree, 49 minutes, but I have to plus 1. Because after the 49 is 50. And if the after 49, the number is more than 30, you have to plus 1. So it becomes 45 degree, 50 minutes. And this one, you write it here, 45 degree, 50 minutes, like that. And now you just press the whole thing, right? So I'll just tekan sine, open bracket, and then 45 degree, 50 minutes over 2, and then close the bracket, and then equal, and then answer times 8 times 2, which is times 16 lah. Okay, my calculator give me 6.23027. Okay, you don't have to write so many, just write 4 significant figure is enough. So if I write 4 significant figure, it will be 6.2302. So it's 0 cm. The 0 I have to write, because if you want to write 4 significant figure, yeah, the 0 count as a significant figure. Okay, the soalan says show that the length of PR is 6.23. Show means what? It means this is the answer and you want to show the working, right? And I think I already show it. Yeah, this answer is same as this, right? 6.23. Okay. So I think it's better to not write the 0, right? Yeah. If this is not a show question, definitely I will write 4 significant figure if it's not a show question, right? But if it's a show question, you want your answer to be matched with the answer they give in the question here. So yeah, I think it's better to not write. So after we do the ideal here, we just write shown, and then that's it. Yeah, that's all. So it's quite simple actually. Just use the chord formula. Okay, I think that's all. So that's it. All right, let's keep going with question 2. So just by looking at the diagram, I know already which chapter is this. This is linear law, Form 4 chapter. Okay, chapter 6, I think. Yeah, chapter 6. Okay, let's do this linear law question. Diagram 2 shows the graph of log y base 10 against x. So you can see from the y-axis and the x-axis. So remember, when you do linear law, you have to really take note and look at the y-axis. Yeah, mesti, because the y-axis is very important. And then it says the variable x and y are related by this equation. Find the value of p and q. So let's go to the, let's write down the equation first. 10 power 2x minus 3. Okay, before you find the value of p and q, you first need to change this equation to linear form first. So remember, when you do linear law, doesn't matter it's paper 1 or paper 2, you always start with this step, which is change the equation to linear form. Even when you're doing paper 2 also, it's the same. Okay. Okay, tapi paper 2, you gonna draw the graph yourself one. You have to use the graph paper lah. But for paper 1, they will draw a simple version for you, just like this, right? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter paper 1 or paper 2. You always change the equation to linear form, always, right? And the way to do it is you have to make sure your equation match with the y-axis. Same with paper 2 also, you do like that also. So, yeah, you can see that your equation tak sama dengan y-axis sekarang. Y-axis dia adalah log y, but your equation is just y. So in order to make this match with this, you want them to be the same. You want the equation to be matched with the y-axis. So what you have to do is you have to uh, tambah log, right? You have to add log, right? And the way to do it is like this. You add one on the left side, you add one on the right side, okay? And you will use base 10, of course, because you want it to be same with the y-axis here. So it becomes log y here, and then the 10 power 2x minus 3, just write it here, right? And as you can see, your equation is already same with the y-axis. Can you see it? They're already same, right? But the problem is the right-hand side. You want to make sure the right-hand side is mx plus c, because the equation in linear form is y equals mx plus c. So the y-axis is already nice already, but you can see on the right-hand side, everything is jumbled up together. Everything is like rojak, all mixed up together. You want them to be separated, and you want them to be like piece by piece. You faham? So it's like you want it to be single, 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 not everything jumbled up like that. Because you want it to be y equals mx plus c. You want to be able to see the m clearly, the x clearly, and the c clearly. Not like this, like everything just satu jumbled up. So what you have to do, you can, all right, first of all, I realized that the 2x minus 3 can actually bring it to the front, because this is the power. So when the log number here got power, the power boleh hantar depan. So it becomes 2x minus 3 multiply with log 1010. And log 1010 is equals to 1. Okay, because when the log number and the log base here is exactly the same value, you can cut it and it will become 1. Okay, so now you just left with what? So now you just left with log 10y equals 2x minus 3. And as you can see, this is already linear form. Kenapa? Because it's already in this form. Y equals mx plus c. Okay, and you can double check with the y-axis, x-axis. So you can see the y-axis is log y from the equation, and dia sudah match dengan y-axis dekat graph. What about the mx plus c? Okay, the x-axis here will be x, and you can see it's already matched with the x-axis here. So it means the 2, -3 automatic is the m and c already. So I will just write okay, after you change to linear form, you have to write this baris y equals mx plus c, and make sure the y and x you use huruf besar, capital letter. So since your y-axis and x-axis already match, therefore your gradient and your y-intercept also will be also ngam already lah, also correct already. So your m will be 2, your c will be -3. And now what you need to do, you need to go to the graph and compare the graph gradient y-intercept with the equation punya graph, equation punya m and c, compare with the graph punya m and c. Okay, I can see from the graph, they actually never give me the gradient. Okay, and yeah, but you can see that the C here, the y-intercept of this line is given in the graph. It's here, right? That's the y-intercept, pitasan y. So dekat sini dia sentuh paksi y kan? So the y-intercept from the graph here, it says here is P. And from the equation is, the C is -3. So P is automatic equals -3 already. Okay, now how do you find Q? Okay, there's two methods. There's two methods to do it. One method is you use the gradient formula. Okay, if you use the gradient formula, it will look something like this. Y minus y over x minus x equals to the 2 here. Because you already know from the equation, the gradient will be 2. Okay, the gradient m is equals to 2. And then from the graph, you can use these 2 points, right? 2 minus p, but you already know p is -3. That is why I find p first. Yeah, that's also the reason why I find p first. And then over q minus 0. Because that's how you find gradient. And then you can use this method to do it. Okay, or there's another method. Another method is you just ganti masuk terus. You just sub inside. Okay, because the Q2 you can see the Q2 point actually got passes through this line. So if the point got passes through the line, you can actually straight away sub inside to find the Q. Okay, and how you do it is like this: when big X equals to Q, big Y equals to 2. Because Q is the X coordinate, 2 is the Y coordinate. But why you have to write big X, big Y? Because because the 2 is not Y actually, it's log Y. You understand, right? Because when you baca bawah here, that's Q, right? And then when you baca here, that's the 2. But 2 is not the small y, it's actually the whole log y. So later when you sub, you don't go and sub log 2. It's wrong. It's actually the whole log y equals to 2. So what it means this whole log y becomes 2. And then equals to 2x, and the whole x is Q like that, -3. Okay, and I'll prove to you that both of these will give you same answer. I'll prove to you now. So let's continue from here. 2 plus 3 is 5 over Q equals to 2. And then the Q you can hantar here become times, because divide, when you move there become times. So 2 times q is 2, q equals 5, q equals 5 over 2. And what if you do it like this? So 2 equals to, okay, first of all, I want to find q, right? So your q is already positive here. So let's just try to make it single on this side. So the minus 3, you move here, become 2 plus 3, 5, and then q is 5 over 2. So as you can see, you end up with the same answer. But of course, in an exam, you don't have to do both. You just choose one. You either do like this or do like that. Up to you. Okay? Up to you. Eh? Okay, so I'm done. So we can just write the final answer here. P equals negative 3, q equals 5 over 2. And that's what the question asked for, P and Q. So I'm done. Right? So, yep, hope you understand. That's all. All right, moving on. Number 3. This is a progression question, also from 4 chapter, but it's from 4 chapter 5. Okay, janjang. Huh? Okay, let's go. Determine whether the following sequence is a geometric progression or not. Give your justification. P power 8, P power 12, P power 16, P power 20, 2 marks. All right, how do you prove whether it's geometric or not? You find the common ratio. If the ratio is same for all the consecutive terms, then it's a geometric. If it's not same, then it's not a geometric. So how do you find the R? So actually the R, you find it since, because all these terms, they are right next to each other, right? They are right after each other. So what you can do, you can find the R by taking the term here, divide by the term before, right? So what I'll do here, I'll just write okay, I cannot assume this is T1, T2, T3, T4 because they never said it's the first 4 terms. So I'm just gonna write R1 instead, and then R1, and I'm just gonna write P power 12 over P power 8, like that. Okay, so the first ratio, I find it by taking this term divided by this term. So I end up with P power 4. So remember, when you have two numbers same base, right, PP, and then you're trying to divide, you will take the power minus. Maksudnya, kalau base sama bahagi, the power kena tolak. So you end up with P power 4, right? So that means from here to here, you have to multiply P power 4. Okay, but you're not trying to find the R now, you're trying to prove whether it's geometric or not. So you have to find the R2 and the R3, right? Because you're trying to see whether they are all equal, whether they are all same or not. So the next one will be P power 16, you have P power 12, you ends up getting P power 4 also, because 16 minus 12 is 4. And then the R3 will be P power 20, divide P power 16, and you end up getting P power 4 also. Yeah, because 20 minus 16 is 4. So as you can see, all the R here is same. Okay, so this is really the common ratio. Okay, so we can say that this is a geometric. So how we can write it? So we can write since the R1 and the R2 and the R3 are all equal, okay, are all same. Therefore, this sequence is a geometric progression. So it's a geometric progression. But of course, if you're trying to prove it's a arithmetic, then you don't bahagi lah, you minus. Because arithmetic, you don't find the ratio, you find the difference. The difference you have to minus. Okay. All right. Let me. Oh, actually, you can also write P power 12 over P power 8 equals P power 16 over P power 12 equals P power 20. Can also, is the same meaning, right? Yeah. All right. So that's all. It's only worth 2 marks. So yeah, done. All right. I'll continue with B now. So I'll separate it here. Okay, B. If A is the first term and R is the common ratio of a geometric progression, show that the sum of first n terms is this. So actually, this question is asking you to show the SN formula, or they want you to derive lah, basically. Actually what they want is to asking you to derive this formula, right? And I made a specific video on how to derive the arithmetic progression and the geometric progression formula, both the TN and the SN. Yeah. I made the video like around 1 year ago. Yeah, I actually show my face in the video and I explain the whole thing. Yeah, all those things. So if you want to take a look on the video, I will put the link somewhere here. You can click on it and then watch it if you want the full explanation. So, but I will explain here one more time also. Okay. Okay. So how do you prove this formula actually? So first of all, you need to know what's the meaning of Sn. So Sn is the sum of first n terms. In other words, the hasil tambah sebutan n yang pertama. So you're trying to get the first n term and then add them together, the hasil tambah. So what you're finding when you're finding Sn, you're actually finding the T1 plus T2 plus T3 and until Tn. That's what you're finding basically. Okay, because that's what it means by Sn. So if this is S7, then it means you are taking the first seven terms add together, which means T1, T2, T3 until T7, T4, T5, T6, T7, all tambah semua lah. That's what it means, right? And then we actually know the formula for, or we will be using the formula for Tn. Yeah, we need the formula for Tn. To prove the Sn formula, you need the formula for Tn. So do you know what is the Tn formula for geometric? It would be AR power n minus 1. Yeah, that is the formula for Tn. Okay. So what you do is you use the Tn formula and write it here. So become Sn equals, okay, T1 will just be A. And the reason is very simple because when the n is 1, 1 minus 1 here would be 0. So it just end up with AR power 0. But R power 0 is 1. So it just end up with A times 1, which is just A. And then plus with T2, that would be AR power 2 minus 1, which is power 1. So I'll just write power 1 here. And then T3 would be AR power 2. And then plus dot, 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 dot. It keeps going until Tn. And we all know Tn will be AR power n minus 1 lah. Because your n is n, right? So n minus 1, like that, right? Okay, until after you reach here, what you have to do now is you have to take everything times R. Okay, that's how you derive. Okay, so you have to remember the step basically. When you derive the Sn formula, you have to remember the first few steps. Yeah, I think the hard part is the first few steps. If you can remember the first few steps, the rest is like very self-explanatory. Like you can just figure it out on the spot, like how you get there, right? Okay, but anyways, let's continue. So the step here is to times R lah. So when you times the left side with R, then the right side, everything here on the right side also you have to times with R. So what happens? A times R is AR. AR power 1 times R is AR power 2. And then this one times R is AR power 3. And then plus dot, 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 dot. Plus this one also you have to times with R. Okay, this is the step here you have to memorize lah. Okay, okay, so what is AR power n minus 1 times R? You will get AR power n, I think. Right? So let me show you why. Because AR power n minus 1, when you times with R, it means you times with R power 1. And when you have same base, darab, the power need to plus. Okay, base sama, kalau darab, kuasa kena tambah. So it becomes the AR power n minus 1 plus 1 like that. But negative 1 plus 1 is 0, so you're left with AR power n. That's why here I write AR power n. Okay, okay, how to continue from here? Okay, let me make some space here. I need some space. All right. So what you have to do now is you will call this the equation 1 and you will call this the equation 2. And now you have to take note here. The Sn formula, kalau bawah dia R minus 1, you take 2 minus 1. I repeat, if the formula you're trying to derive, kalau the Sn formula down here is R minus 1, then you take equation 2 minus equation 1. But if it's 1 minus R, you take 1 minus 2. Because the Sn actually got two formula, right? I forgot to mention it earlier, but I just assume you all know it already lah. Because this is like, yeah, I'm sure everyone that's watching this is like preparing for SPM. So I just assume everyone know it already. So I forgot to mention it. I'll mention it now. So Sn actually ada dua formula tau. One formula is R minus 1. The other one is 1 minus R. And then atas akan jadi A bracket 1 minus R power n. But most of the time we will use this when our R is bigger than 1. Yeah, when your R is bigger than 1, you use this. Okay. And then when your R is smaller than 1, you use this. Okay. It's very easy to remember. When your R bigger than 1, then you minus 1 lah. Because you are bigger mah. You ambil big tolak small mah. Small lah. Besar tolak kecil kan. And then if your R smaller than 1, then you 1 minus lah. Because you smaller mah. You smaller, your R is smaller, so it has to be 1 minus. Okay? But now we are not trying to derive this, right? We are trying to derive this one, right? So you should take equation 2 minus equation 1. Let me tell you how I know it. Because when you take 2 minus 1, you end up getting R Sn minus Sn. So it would be like this, right? It would be this one. If you take equation 1 minus equation 2, it will be Sn minus RSn. So your R, it becomes Sn minus RSn already. And if it's Sn minus RSn, after you factorize the Sn out, you will end up getting 1 minus R, which is not what I want. Okay. So remember, if I want R minus 1, I have to take equation 2 minus equation 1, right? But of course, if one day the exam asks for this one, you also do the same step, but here you have to change lah. You have to take equation 1 minus 2 instead. Yeah. Okay, I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here. So 2 minus 1, so it becomes what? RSn minus Sn. Yeah, which is what I want. because I want the bawah here to be r minus 1. So later when I factorize the Sn, so when I take out the Sn, it become r minus 1 like that. Makes sense. If I take 1 minus 2 later, it become 1 minus r. Then it's not same with this already. So remember, we are not trying to prove this. We are trying to prove this. Okay, what about the right side then? Okay, the left side, you take RSN minus SN. It means bawah tolak atas. So the right side also same lah. You also take bawah tolak atas. But when you take bawah tolak atas, what happens? AR minus AR becomes 0. AR power 2, AR power 2, 0. AR power 3 will be here 0. This one and this 0. Wait, hold on. Okay, so I'll just use a red color to show you. So when you take 2 minus 1, this one and this one cancel. This one minus this one becomes 0. And AR power 3, even though you don't see it here, but you know the next term here will be AR power 3 also. This one, so this one and this one cancel. What about AR power n? Okay, actually AR power n cannot cancel with this. But this AR power n minus 1 can cancel with the term before AR power n. Okay, because you can see the power just go plus 1, plus 1, plus 1. You see? R power 1, R power 2, R power 3, R power 4. So you just keep going 4, 5, 6, 7. So all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 all cancel. And then what is before the AR power n? It will be AR power n minus 1. That's why you can cancel with this, right? So what you left with AR power n, and there is also a here, right? So what you have to write here is AR power n minus A. AR power n minus A, okay? But actually, I don't recommend you cut like that in the exam. You just cut in your head lah. Don't cut it like that, because if you cut like that, your teacher might think that you are trying to correction tape out the thing. So I don't, yeah, I personally don't recommend it to potong like that. But I potong just now to make you understand lah. But you don't have to potong in the when you do it in the SPM nanti. Alright, so you'll be left with AR power n minus A. Hope you understand this part, because bawah tolak atas, so you just everything cancel already. All this cancel, 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 cancel. Left with this one minus this one, right? Okay, now the next step is factorize both sides. Factorize, and you have to factorize completely. So you can see on the left side got two terms, and both of these terms can divide by Sn. So factorize out the Sn, you left with r minus 1. Because the RSN, when you take out the Sn, you left with r. Sn divide Sn, you left with 1. Right? And if you try to expand this, yeah, you get back. You dapat balik atas. Sn darab r, RSN, yeah, it's the same. Okay, what about here? Okay, what you can factorize? There's two terms, and both terms have a. So it means both terms can divide by a. So when you take out the a, you divide, you become r power n minus 1. And same thing, if you try to expand kembang darab masuk, you get back atas. A times r power n, ar power n, a times n, yeah, same thing, right? So now you can see the Sn formula already. Just move the r minus 1 whole thing down here, and you will end up getting a bracket r power n minus 1 over r minus 1. And as you can see, this is the exact formula they're trying to ask us to show here. So this is the answer. Okay, they ask us to derive this formula, right? So show that the sum here, so I'll just write show here. Okay, if the soalan say proof, then I'll write proven. Okay, proven. If they say derive, then I will just write derived. If they say show, I will just write show. Okay, yeah, that's all. Hope you understand. Let's continue. All right, number 4. I think this is differentiation question from 5 chapter 2. Okay, pembezaan, differentiation. Okay, let's read the question. The radius of a circle increases at a rate. Okay, the moment I see rate, then automatic I know it's over dt. Okay, yeah, this is under the rate of change in the differentiation chapter. So whenever you see rate, remember dia mesti over dt. So the rate is equals to 3, so over dt equals 3. But what about atas here? So let's read carefully. The radius of circle increases at the rate of 3. It means every second, the radius of circle tambah 3 cm. Right? So what happens here? dr, so you can use r to represent radius of circle lah. Right? Radius is the jari of the circle. So r represent radius of circle, and kenapa over dt? Because is the rate, and then equals to 3. Okay, and then comma, and then find the rate of change. Oh, rate again. So over dt, but this time is find the rate of area. So I think I can use big A to represent the area of circle, and then equals to question mark, because this one I need to, this is the final answer. Yeah, we need to find this. So this is question mark, and then when the radius is 2 cm, so just write r equals to like that. Okay, I'm done with writing all the information down. Now it's time to solve for this. Trying to find this. So how do you do it? Okay, for rate of change question, I always teach the same way. I always tell students, you leave an empty space here, go to the side here and write this line equals to line darab line. Okay, and then here and here same, here and here same, and then here and here same. Okay, and I want student to know this one and this one always put dt. That's the method I use lah. So like that's how I teach my students. So I will always tell them this one and this one you always put dt. Okay, so like let's write dt here. And then for here and here, they will be the same, right? But we don't know what to write yet. And here and here and here also it will be the same. We don't know what to write yet. Okay. So you can see that. Okay. So sekarang macam mana nak tahu sini kena tulis apa? You tengok you punya information. So you can see this is dr dt. This is dA dt. Okay. And the dt I already write it here. Okay. So you left with dA and dr, right? You left with dA and dr. So it's either you write dA, dr, ataupun dr, dA. Okay. But I'll tell you now, it will be better if you write dA, dr. The reason is because A represents area of circle, R represents radius of circle. So the equation later will be A in terms of R. That's why it's better to make it dA, dr here. You faham kan? Because usually, because the formula is A in terms, the equation later will be A in terms of R, not R in terms of A. Yeah, you use radius to find area. Okay, you don't use area to find radius. You understand what I'm trying to explain here, right? So later your equation will be A will be the subject. Yeah, A will be the subject because A represents area. That's why it will be A in terms of R. So it's better to be A, dA, dr here. Okay. And then you will put in the 3 inside lah. The 3 is the dr dt. You just put it in here. dA dt is the question mark. So this will be the final answer. It means this one you have to find it last kali. This is the final answer. Okay, this is the final answer. So what you have to find now? The dA dr lah. Because you're trying to find this last kali. This is the final answer. So what you have to find now is dA dr. That's why I asked you to leave an empty space here. It's for you to find this dA dr. But if you don't write this, how you want to know what you're trying to find, right? That's why you write this first. So now you know you're trying to find dA dr. But before finding dA dr, you need to have the equation A in terms of R first. Okay. If this is dr dA, then you need R in terms of A. You get me right now. So it's like if it's dA dr, you need A in terms of R. And it makes sense because A is area of circle, R is radius of circle. So is there any formula or any equation that comes into your head when you try to relate the area and the radius of circle? So ada satu formula kan yang boleh guna. Area equals pi r square. Okay. Remember this is circle, not triangle or like square or rectangle. No. This is circle. So the area of circle is actually equals to pi r square. That's how you find area of circle. Okay. Yeah, like that. Or maybe some will say like what 1/2 r square theta. But this one is area of sector. Okay. And also this one, the theta will be 2 pi if you want to use this formula because this formula is the area of sector, but you're trying to find area of full circle. So full circle, the theta in radian will be 2 pi. So when you cut, yeah, you left with pi r square also. Okay. Yeah, but this is not that important. Like this is just yeah, it's the same lah. It's the same lah. You end up here also. Same also. So I think I'll just continue from here and then find the dA dr now. So because now it's A in terms of RD, right? So you can differentiate dA dr. Okay, I know some student will say like, sir, what about the R2? Okay, this 2 is not for you to sub inside now. Please don't sub now. This one is you sub after you differentiate. Lepas you differentiate, baru you sub. Okay. If you sub the 2 now, it's very funny because if you sub the 2 now, you will just get A. But you're not trying to find A. You're trying to find dA dr. Okay. And also if you sub the 2 inside, baru you differentiate, you will get 0. Okay. Doesn't make sense. So remember the 2, you always sub after you differentiate. So differentiate this, you get 2 pi r. Because when you differentiate, you ambil power darab with the number depan here, but there's nothing here, is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2, and then power minus 1, so pi r power 2 minus 1 pi r power 1. So power 1 tak payah tulis. Now only you sub the 2, so it becomes 4 pi here. And then the 4 pi you sub inside here, and then 4 pi times 3 is just 12 pi. Okay, alright, what about the unit? So A is area. Area punya unit is cm square, and then time unit is second, but since dia duduk bawah, so you have to write -1. Okay, they even mention it here. Cm square s minus 1, right? So yeah, you just follow them lah. Okay, that's all. Okay, this question is not over yet. There's still a B here. So let's continue. So let's read. It is given that the function kx equals to mx power 3 minus 2x squared plus 6x. Find the value of m if k double prime 2 equals k prime 1. So they want to find m, right? Okay, first of all, you need to understand what's the meaning of this, right? What is this? Like a comma here, right? So what is this? This is not inverse function. Come on, guys. If inverse, they will write -1. This is not inverse, okay? This one is not -1. It's just like that, like a apostrophe, right? So this one, we call it prime, okay? And what it means you do differentiate. If you got k prime, you differentiate one time. If k double prime, you differentiate two times, right? Okay, I'm not going to find k prime and k double, sorry. I'm not going to find k prime 1 first. I will try to find k prime x first. Because this is kx, right? So I'll try to find k prime x first. And then only after I differentiate, only I sub the one inside the k prime x. Understand, right? Because the one you actually sub after you differentiate, not before. Not before. Hey, if you sub the one here, you will not get k prime 1. You will just get k1. Logic, right? And then same with the k double prime 2 also. I will not try to find k double prime 2. I will try to find k double prime x. So now I'll try to find these both first. And then the 1, 2, afterwards only you sub inside the 1, 2. Okay, let's try to find k prime x. So you can see this one, you can straight away differentiate already. Because tak ada x dekat bawah and you can't expand it. Everything is like single term, single term. You have three terms here. So just differentiate separately. 3 times, you will end up getting the answer. So 3 times m, you get 3m power minus 1 x power 2. Do it one more time. 2 times -2, -4 power minus 1 is x power 1. And then the last one, differentiate 6x is just 6. Okay, now for the k double prime x, you do the same process, but you differentiate here one more time. Okay, yeah. So differentiate 3m x squared, you get 6m x, because 2 times 3 is 6, and then power minus 1, right? Okay, differentiate -4x is just -4, and then differentiate 6 is 0, and 0 tak payah tulis. Okay, now that I find the k prime x and k double prime x, now I can try to find the k prime 1, all right? K prime 1, because that's what we need. And then we also need the k double prime 2, that's what we need. And after we get the both answer, we take the two answer and uh, equal. Okay, because the soalan says the k double prime 2 answer and the k prime 1 answer is equal, is the same. So later both, you just equal them together lah. Okay, k prime 1 will be what? You just sub the x into 1. So the x ganti jadi 1. So 3m bracket square plus 4 bracket plus 6. And this would be 1, 1. Okay, 1 square would be 1 also. And then 1 times 3m, 3m plus 4 plus 6 is just plus 10. So that's all. Wait, I feel like I made a mistake. Wait, this one correct? Plus 6. Oh, this one is minus lah. Okay. So luckily I saw my mistake here. Kalau tak nanti I have to erase the whole thing. So I can see it here, right? -4x. So it'll be -4x plus 6. I wrote plus 4 just now here. So it should be minus. So this one 1. Okay, this is correct now. So 1 square is 1. 1 times 3m is 3m. -4 plus 6 is positive 2. This is the correct one. Okay, what about here? Same thing. X ganti 2. But the m never ganti. The m stay as m. Just the x only ganti 2. So 6m times 2 is 12m, I guess. Yeah, 12m minus 4. So now what you do? You take both these, you equal, right? Okay, it's up to you. You want to take this one equal this also can, this equal this also can. Yeah, they are both equal, so it doesn't matter which side you put, which one you want to put on which side, like just whatever. So I'll just put 3. Okay, I think it's better if I put the 12m minus 4 first. So like that, 12m minus 4 equals 3m plus 2. Because they say k double prime 2 equals k prime 1, right? So k double prime 2, this one is the one on the left side lah. And then the right side, k prime 1, I put at the right side. Okay, now it's easy to find m. This is like from one, yeah, just pindah-pindah saja lah. So m dengan m boleh buat, number dengan number boleh buat. So, but they are on the different side. So let's try to make it same side. Plus 3m pindah here jadi -3. 12 minus 3 is 9m. -4 hantar sana jadi +4. 2 plus 4 is 6. So your m will be 6 divide 9. And you will get 2/3. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, that's all. Okay, moving on. Number 5. So number 5. What chapter is this? Not too sure. Let's read the question first. Ken undergoes 2 cycling training session. Okay, so there's 2 sessions. In each session, okay, in each session, in one session, can cycles a distance of 150 kilometer. Okay, so two session, but every session, one session is the distance, and in the first session, can cycles at an average of X kilometer per hour, and then in the second session, can increases its speed by 10. Okay, the information they give us is there's like one set of information is for the first session, one is for second session. So I will write it like this: first session, and then the second session information I'll write here. Okay. So both session they already said here, in each session, it means both session also same. The distance is 150. So I'll just write here D is 150 kilometers. Okay, for both also same, first and second. Okay. And then the first session can cycles average speed of X kilometer per hour. So I will go to the first here. I'll use AVG speed, average speed lah. I'll write X, and I think it's better to write the unit inside also. Yeah, kilometer per hour like that. Okay. Okay. So that's what it means. Okay, average speed. And then what else? In the second session, okay, can increase its speed by 10 kilometer per hour. So the average speed here is not same with the first session. So the second session, he actually increased his speed by 10. So instead of X, it becomes X plus 10 already. But the unit is still kilometer per hour. Okay, so far so good. And then he finished the training 20 minutes earlier compared to the first session. Oh, so it means for the second session, he finished, the time taken is like 20 minutes faster than the first session. And it makes sense. Why faster? Because the speed is faster, betul lah. So imagine if you drive faster, or you ride the bicycle faster, you cycle faster, but the distance is same for both, right? So if you ride faster, you will finish the session faster lah. So time, the time. So for the time here, it says second session is 20 minutes earlier than the first session. So what do you have to write here? Uh, so I think we can let the time taken jadikan dia satu unknown lah. So maybe you can use K or M, whatever lah, just use the unknown. Okay, I'll just use T lah. I'll just use T. So what happens here is, like, for the first session, we don't know the time, right? So, okay, how? Okay, I'll just do like that. All right, I'll just write time. I'll just write time. And then I'll just jadikan time is the T, because we don't know. We don't know the time for the first session. And then the second session is 20 minutes earlier compared. So it'll be T minus 20, right? But wait. Look at the unit here. The distance is in kilometer, and the speed is in kilometer per hours. So don't you think that the time has to be in hours also, right? So that it's like match, right? This one, if this is in minutes, then it's very funny already, right? Because if this is in minutes, then how you supposed to use, because the formula for speed is distance over time. And if your distance is in kilometer, but your time is in minute, you will get kilometer per minute for the speed later. But you want it to be kilometer per hour. So you want this to be in hours, right? Then that means you cannot take T minus 20 already. It has to be T minus 20 over 60 already. Because T is in hours, guys. T is in hours, and 20 is in minutes. So you can't just take hours minus minute. You have to convert the minute to hour also. Then only you write bracket hours like that. So it's actually T minus 1 over 3 hours lah. Like that. T minus 1 over 3 or 1 over 3, because this one you get 1 over 3, right? And then calculate Ken's average speed in the first session. It means find X lah. Because average speed in the first session is this one, right? First session X. So yeah, I think I'm done with the information. Now it's time to go for the X. Means like try to find the X. So how you do it is you have to use the formula. Speed equals distance over time. Okay. So I'll use it for the first session here first. So the formula I write here just now already, right? Speed equals distance over time. So the speed is in kilometer per hour. Distance has to be in kilometer, 150. Time has to be in hours T. That's all done. That's the formula. Let's do the same thing for here. Speed is X plus 10. Okay. Equals to distance over time. Distance is 150 over time has to be in hours, which is T minus 1 over 3. So I'll just write it here like that. Okay. Okay, don't forget the soalan asking to find X. All right, so how do you find X from here? Definitely this one have to do the simultaneous equation, and you can use the penggantian cara, substitution method. So can I sub because here the X already single, so can I sub this inside here? Yes, you can. But if you sub like that, it becomes, it means you're finding T already. Because if you sub the whole X here, it becomes 150 over T here. then the whole equation here only have t, then you can find t, right? Which is good, but they're asking for x, right? Then some of you might say, oh, sir, you sub this inside. After you find the t, you ganti balik inside here, the t, to find x. Can also. It's a bit slow lah, but can also. So there's a faster way to do it. Why not you find t single and then sub inside the t? Like this is faster, right? Because if you find the t single, straight away you find x already. So how to find t? The t you can move here becomes darab. Because t bahagi kan, bahagi hantar jadi darab. So bahagi jadi darab, darab jadi bagi. So it becomes 150 over x. Sorry, this one is x. Okay. It means they just switch place lah. Okay. Divide become times, times become divide like that. They just switch place. So now you sub this inside here instead. Why is this better? Because you're trying to find x. You're trying to find x. Okay? So it becomes x plus 10 equals to what? 150 over t minus 1 over 3, and t is 150 over x minus 1 over 3. And put bracket. And put bracket. Okay. Okay, so now how do you find x? Okay, if I am you, I will straight away do cross multiply. I will do darab sidang. Because I'm trying to find x and my x duduk bawah macam tu, I will just, actually no need to cross lah. Just pindah this whole thing atas jadi darab lah. Betul lah. So it just becomes what? Because the whole thing here is together, right? So how? Let me think. So it become x plus 10 times with 150 over x minus 1 over 3 equals 150. And how do you expand this? Let's see. Yeah, you just expand lah. X times 150 over x, you get 150. Because the x cut already. And then x times negative 1 over 3 is negative 1 over 3x. 10 times this, you get, okay, 150 times 10 is 1500 over x. And then 10 times negative 1 over 3 is just negative 10 over 3 equals 150. Now what? Okay, I can see got fraction here, right? Got over 3 over x over 3. So how, because we don't want the fraction. So how do you get rid of the fraction? You samakan dia punya denominator lah. Yeah, you make all the denominators same. So it's over 1 over 1. Nothing means over 1, right? So how do you make all the bawah sama? Because you want to get rid of fraction, you want the denominator same. So how you will make the denominator over 3x lah. So this one you times with 3x. Okay. And then for this over 3 you times with x. This one you times with 3. This one you times with x. This one you times with 3x. Okay. And of course atas pun kena darab benda yang sama. Okay. And the reason for me doing this is because I want to hilangkan the fraction. So 150 times 3x is 450x. 3 times x is 3x, but atas pun kena times x. So atas is 1x. Times x is x squared, but it's negative. Plus with 1500 times 3, I think you get 4500. And then 3 times x, 10 times x is 10x equals 150 times 3x is 450x. Yeah. So you end up here. So now is, because now everything over 3x already. That's why you don't have to write the 3x already. Because if both sides hold 3x like that, then the 3x can cut already. Why can cut? Because the bahagi you hantar jadi darab macam tu, then you cut, yeah. You can just, no need to write already. That's why I samakan all the denominator lah. That's why I samakan all the bawah number. Okay, sekarang kita boleh, dia sudah jadi kuadratik. Because you see square, right? And whenever you see quadratic, you know mesti kena pindah everything on one side equals 0, jadikan general form and then press calculator, right? So let's do that now. So the negative x squared I'll write first. Next, I want to write x because we want you to susun in general form. So 450x minus 10x is 440x, but you have to minus with 450, so negative 10x. Okay, and then the plus 4500 is here, and then equals 0. Okay, everything on one side equals 0. But before I use my calculator, I have to make sure dia tak boleh kecilkan. Kecilkan means like if all these numbers can divide by satu number, you have to divide it. Kalau boleh divide with the same number, you kena bahagi. And one more condition, kalau di sini negative, you have to try to make it positive. Right? So you can see now it's negative. So how you make it positive? Everything bahagi negative 1. And what happens when you bahagi negative 1? You just change the sign lah. Negative jadi positive, negative jadi positive, positive jadi negative here. So now you can use the calculator to solve the quadratic equation here. Okay. So this one, how you press your calculator? You have to tekan the ABC. I hope all of you know how to press. Okay, I'm hoping the calculator give me a good looking answer. Good looking answer here means like the answer can change to fraction. I'm hoping lah, I'm hoping. So let's tekan now. A is 1, B is 10, C is negative 4500. Okay, my calculator give me the first answer here is negative 5 plus 5 square root 181. Okay, you have to change to decimal. So obviously, this is not a good looking answer. It's not a good looking answer because the answer is 62.268 blah 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 blah. And if you try to change the fraction, dia macam ada cert kan, ada square root. So that means this answer cannot, I mean, this quadratic equation cannot be solved by using factorization. But I can write down the answer first, 62.27. Let's write in four sigma figure. Okay, the other answer in decimal is negative 72.26, but it's 268, so 27 like that. Okay, so the answer is not a good looking answer. That means we cannot use the normal factorization method to do it. We have to use the quadratic formula to solve it. Okay, and you have to show them in the exam that you use the formula. Kalau tak, you will not get full marks, right? Okay, but the answer you get later will be same with this. Okay? All right, the quadratic formula is negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Yeah, that's the formula you have to use. So now I'll draw a line, and then I will just sub inside all the ABC. Okay, negative b plus minus square root b square minus 4ac over 2a. Okay, for this bracket, they are both the b. So the b is 10, 10. Okay? And then for the a is 1, 1, 1. This is also a1. C is negative 4500. Okay, so now we just have to use calculator to press. But you will know already the answer will be this. Okay. Then, sir, why you waste your time? If you already know the answer, why not just write the answer? Because you want to get full mark. They need to see you using the quadratic formula. Okay. Remember, kalau you punya jawapan tak boleh tukar jadi fraction, you need to show them this working, this formula. Okay. You need to show them that you got use this formula. Okay. 2 times 1 is 2. Negative 10 is negative 10 plus minus square root. Okay. This one you can just press inside your calculator. So what is the b square minus 4ac? Let me press 100 minus 4 multiply negative 4500. Okay, my calculator give me square root 18100. So just write that lah. And actually, there's a name for this. This is called the discriminant. Yeah, the b square minus 4ac value is called the discriminant. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembeza layan. And if this discriminant is positive, it means two different roots. If this one is equal 0, then it's two equal roots. If it's negative, then it's no roots. Because you can't square root negative number, so you just stuck here, you get no answer. But that's just some extra information lah. Yeah. Okay, so continue x equals. All right, the plus minus here means you have to do 2 times. Satu plus, satu minus. So I will press negative 10 plus square root 18100 and then equal answer divide 2. So I end up with 62.27. Or the other answer is negative 10 minus, this time minus, square root 18100 equal, and then answer divide 2. So change to decimal, negative 72.27. So you end up getting two different roots. Okay, let me make some space. Okay, thank you. 72.27. Okay, sekarang kita kena reject this question, reject this answer, rejected. Okay. Okay, the reason why we reject this is because you remember x represents what? Average speed. And you need to know speed tak ada negative. Distance also tak ada negative, time also tak ada negative. Okay. Yeah, speed tak ada negative. Okay, so that is why we reject. So the answer here is what? 62.27. But they say average speed, right? So I'll just, yeah, just follow the question. So average speed in first session, in first session equals 62.27, and then the unit kalau tak silap is kilometer per hour. Okay, let's double confirm that. X kilometer per hour. Yeah, kmh minus 1. Average speed in first session. Okay, that is the answer. Sudah siap. Okay, moving on. Let's continue to B. So B, this one is quadratic also. Yeah, quadratic. So let's read the question. So it's from 4 chapter 2 or 3? Chapter 2. Quadratic. Okay, let's go. Given alpha and beta are the roots. Okay, I think this one have to use the Sopor method. Because when you see the word roots, And they never mention like it's two different roots, two equal roots, or no roots. So you will use the Sopor method. Okay. Very high chance you use the Sopor method for this. So let's read first. Alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation 2x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. It means alpha and beta is the x for this equation. Is the x. Roots means x. And then you can use the Sopor later. And then form a quadratic equation which has the roots alpha plus 2, beta plus 2. Give your answer in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, where a, b, c are integers. So they want us to form equation. Okay, this one confirm use Sopor already lah. Confirm. Okay. So I'll write down all the Sopor formula. There's three formula you need to be aware of. So the first is the sum of root formula. So when you take the roots add together, it means the x1, x2 you tambah, you will end up getting negative b over a. Okay, this works for every equation. What about the product of root, the hasil darab? Okay, for the hasil darab punca, x1 times x2, you will end up getting c over a. Okay, and another formula, you will use it when they ask you to form equation. Okay, when you want to form a new equation, you need to know that the equation will always be x squared minus the SOR value, x plus with por equals 0, right? Yeah, it means every time you get a general form, this one is actually the SOR, this one is actually the por. Okay, but you have to be careful here because this one got negative. Okay, and also the A is 1. Itu kena tahu. But it's okay. We will do one question. I'll just explain using this question. So let's write down the information first because that's important. So let's write down. The first thing we write is this equation first. Okay, the roots we write afterwards. Okay, 2x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 0. And then the roots now I write. So alpha and beta is the roots for this. So I'll just write x1 equals alpha, x2 equals beta, like that. Okay, but the soalan never asks you to find alpha beta. If they ask you to find alpha beta, it's very simple. You just factorize this inside your calculator. Just tekan the A2, B, negative 6, C9, you get the alpha beta already, if that's what they want. But that's not what they're asking for. They're asking you to form a quadratic equation which has the roots alpha plus 2 and beta plus 2. So I don't think you should find the alpha beta value. I think you should just leave it like as a mystery because you want to form an equation using what? Alpha plus 2, beta plus 2. So what happens here is I will put two lines to separate this, and here I write x1 equals alpha plus 2, x2 equals beta plus 2. Okay, why I separate these two information? Because these roots is the roots for another equation. And we are trying to form that equation, the new equation. So they are not together one. But this one is the roots for the original equation, right? So it means we have to do 2 times the Sopor. Okay. So we have to do the Sopor method 2 times. So let's do the SOR first. The sum of root formula is I write here already. X1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. So it will be what? Alpha plus beta. Okay, the equal I shouldn't write here. So it should be alpha plus beta equals negative b over a. And you can see from the b is negative 6, a is 2 like that. Okay, that's why I said the a must be 1. Yeah, that's why the 2 have to divide. Okay lah, let's continue. Alpha plus beta equals positive 3. Okay, this one cannot do already because got 2 unknown. So we just leave it. Go do the por now. So for the por is x1 times x2 equals c over a. I write here already. So alpha times beta equals c over a. Okay, so it's just 9 and over a. Because you need to make sure the a is 1. So 2 like that. So alpha beta is 9 over 2. Okay, now that you already reached here, these two information will help you later. Okay, it will help you later. So for you don't have to find the alpha beta value. Okay, you just stop here and then do the Sopor second time. But when you do the second time Sopor, you will get stuck. You know why you get stuck? Because you're trying to form the equation. Okay, and you don't have the alpha beta, right? So later when you get stuck, you use this information to help you. Okay, so what you do now? You do the SOR and the POR. Okay, the SOR formula is x1 plus x2 equals negative b over a. It means the alpha plus 2 have to plus with beta plus 2. But we can't write this part of the, we cannot write this part negative b over a because we don't have the equation now. You cannot write equals negative 6 over 2. Cannot. Because these roots is not this, dia bukan equation ni punya roots. It's not the roots for this equation. So what is the negative b over a? We don't know. We are trying to find. That is why I said you will get stuck. Because you don't have the alpha beta and also you don't have the equation. You're trying to form the equation. Okay. So later we have to form using this formula. And the SOR we can find it by using this information. So 2 plus 2 is 4. Alpha plus beta I can write here. And then alpha plus beta is 3. So 3 plus 4 equals 7. Okay, for the por you just multiply alpha plus 2 multiply with beta plus 2. And same thing, we don't write the C over A. Why? Because we don't have the A and the C for this equation. We cannot use this. This is another equation. Okay. Yeah. So equal here. So just expand macam biasa lah, kembang. A alpha times beta is alpha beta, alpha times 2 is 2 alpha, 2 times beta is 2 beta, 2 times 2 is 4. And you can see you are stuck here already. So whenever you stuck, you use these two information to help you. So alpha beta, I can see it here is 9 over 2. So just sub inside. And then the plus 4, I write first. Okay, 2 alpha plus 2 beta. Do I have 2 alpha plus 2 beta? I don't. I don't have. But I have alpha plus beta. So how? Just factorize out the 2 lah. Because when you factorize out, you get alpha plus beta here. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I have alpha plus beta. So I can just erase this and then sub 3 like that lah. So now it becomes 9 over 2 plus 6 plus 4 is plus 10. And then this one is 29 over 2. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Huh? Okay, now for the next part, for the last part, is to form the equation. So we already have our SOR and the POR value. So we can use this formula now. Right? So remember this formula, you use it, when will you use it? When they ask us to form a quadratic equation. So let's form it now. X squared minus SOR x plus POR equals 0. So x squared minus SOR x. So minus SOR, the SOR is 7. So minus 7x plus POR equals 0. So plus 29 over 2 equals 0. Okay, please don't stop your working here. Yeah, don't stop here. Because you can see got fraction here. So how can you cantikkan you punya jawapan? You can take everything times 2. Okay, so it becomes 2x squared times 2, it becomes 14x times 2, left with 29. Because when you times 2, cut already, right? And 0 also times 2, you get 0. Ini baru final answer dia, right? So the soalan says what? Form a quadratic equation, give your answer in this form. So that's the answer. It's already in this form, A, B, C. Where A, B, C are integer. Yeah, A is 2, B is negative 14, C is 29. Okay, but they never say to find A, B, C, right? Yeah, they just write give your answer in this form. So it's good enough. You can just stop here and you will get full mark. Okay, that's all. All right, I'm gonna continue with number 6. Okay, I'll write the booking here. So let's read the question. Determine whether the quantity below is a scalar quantity and a vector quantity. Give your justification. All right. So it says here, water has a density of around 1000 kilogram per meter cube. So they want you to write scalar or vector, give your answer. Give your reason, justification. Okay, 1 mark only. So you just write scalar, vector, and then write the reason. Okay, density is a scalar quantity. Okay, but I'll explain a bit. Alright, I'll explain a bit. So let's talk about scalar and vector quantity now. So I think I'll just give you some nota here. Okay, so I'll give you my notes here. Okay, I'll just write here scalar. Okay, and here I like vector. Okay, okay, let's talk about scalar. Scalar, it has magnitude only. What is magnitude? Magnitude is a numerical value. Okay, numerical value, it means like a value, a digit, ataupun satu nilai. Satu nilai. Okay, so scalar quantity, you only measure it with the magnitude. It only has magnitude. Vector, it will has magnitude and what? Magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction. Okay, magnitude and direction. Okay, so I will show you one table. This one. So if you look at this table, you will see more clearly lah what's the difference. So scalar have magnitude but no direction. It means it has magnitude only. But if you look at the vector, it has magnitude and direction. This one no direction. Okay, so you can see all the example here. So distance, no direction. Speed, no direction. Okay. Okay, the equivalent for distance is displacement. Okay, displacement actually has direction. That's why it's vector. It's vector quantity. And then speed, the equivalent for that is velocity for vector. Like that. And then mass is a scalar, weight is a vector. Yeah, the rest you can refer yourself lah. And you can see density is scalar. Yeah, scalar quantity. Okay. And this question is asking for what? This question is asking for density. So we all know the answer already lah. So density is what? Scalar quantity. Okay, scalar quantity. Oh, what happened? So scalar quantity. Okay, give a reason. Because density has magnitude but no direction. Ataupun you can say density only has magnitude. Can also. Okay, but I think it's better to mention no direction. So it has magnitude but no direction. Okay, okay, I want to give you some extra knowledge. Yeah, something that you know that most people don't know. Okay, I'll tell you now. Actually, there is a way to determine whether it's scalar vector by looking at the unit. Okay, I don't know you're aware of this or not, but I'll tell you now. So the formula for density is what? If you forget already, you can refer the how to say the unit. So if it's kilogram per meter cube, kilogram is mass, right? Meter cube is volume, right? So yeah, that is the formula for density. Mass bahagi volume. Okay. And we all know mass is in kg, volume is in meter cube. Okay. Or it can be cm cube also, but let's just use meter cube now. So mass and volume, they are both scalar or vector. Mass, think about it, mass is scalar, right? Yeah. If it's weight, then it's a mass. Okay, mass is scalar. Okay. And if it's weight, then it's a vector. Okay. Volume is also scalar. So you need to know this. When you have a scalar quantity, when you have scalar quantity, multiply with scalar quantity, you'll end up getting scalar. Okay. And when you take scalar quantity, divide scalar, you end up getting scalar also. Okay. But when you take vector, okay, vector, multiply with scalar, you will get vector, but with same direction. It'll be vector with same direction. Okay. And then for the last part, when you take vector, divide scalar, you will also end up getting vector quantity with same direction. Okay, let me explain what is this, right? So we already understand what is scalar and vector. Scalar is like has magnitude, vector is when it has magnitude and direction. So what happens when you take two scalar quantity, you multiply them? You end up getting scalar lah, right? Because scalar quantity only has magnitude. And what's magnitude? A numerical value. So when you take one numerical value, multiply with one numerical value, you will just get a bigger numerical value. So that, yeah, you will just be a scalar. Same with divide, same logic. Okay. So nothing much to explain, right? But when you have a vector times with scalar, what happens is because the vector has magnitude and direction, right? Yeah, remember that vector has magnitude, mag, and direction. But the scalar only has magnitude. So what happens is when you take vector times scalar, the direction is not affected, but the magnitude and this magnitude, they will direct together. So you will end up getting a vector also in the end, but with the same direction because yeah, the direction never change. You understand, right? Yeah, because it's still the same direction. Yeah, the same logic with the vector divide scalar lah. But of course, the magnitude value will change already. Yeah, it will change to another value already. So vector times scalar, the magnitude times magnitude, you can direct, but you end up getting vector quantity with same direction. Okay. So judging by this, you understand now why density is scalar, right? Because mass is scalar, volume is also scalar. So scalar divided scalar, you get scalar. Okay. Let me show you this table again. Look at this. Look at the mass and volume. Okay, mass and volume. So where is it? So volume is here. Okay, volume is here. And then mass is here, right? So they are both scalar. So when you take mass divide volume, you get density. Density is also scalar. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna show you the Selangor set 1 question. So the one I'm doing now is Selangor set 2, paper 1, right? And I'll show you the Selangor set 1. Okay, this one is the Selangor set 1. Okay. By the way, this paper I did go through this paper before. Yeah, it's in my channel. Like 6, 7 months ago, I did this. Yeah, long time already lah. But I just wanna show you one similar questions. Okay. Actually, the Selangor set one and the Selangor set two is very similar one. Not just one question, like all the question also is like very similar. Okay. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar. And there's one question like that. You see here, it's also asking about scalar vector. Determine whether it's scalar or vector. Give your justification. During landing, paratrooper bend their legs. It is possible to reduce the impulse force by explaining foot with the ground. So they are asking to determine the impulse force, scalar or vector. Okay, this paper I go through with you on a chat. I mean, I have a video going through this paper on my channel. Yeah, the Selangor set one. And the answer for this is vector. Okay, the answer is for this is vector. Why is it like that? Is because force. So let's talk about force. So there's a formula to find force. It's called F equals ma. Ataupun yeah, like you learn it in physics, I think. Yeah, there's one formula like that. F equals ma. So the formula for force is mass times its acceleration. But we all know mass is kg and it's scalar. Scalar. And then what about acceleration? Acceleration is vector. It's vector quantity. So what happens when you take scalar times vector, you get vector lah. That is why force is vector. Okay. Let me show you the table one more time. You see. Acceleration is vector. Okay. Acceleration is vector. And then mass is scalar. But what about force? Okay, force come from mass darab acceleration. It means scalar time vector, you get vector lah. I told you just now, right? When you take a scalar quantity times with a vector, you end up with getting a vector with same direction. That means when you take mass times acceleration, you get force, but mass is scalar, acceleration is vector, so force is a vector quantity. That's why vector here. Okay. Okay lah, I think I spent a lot of time explaining this, and I also hope you remember which one is scalar, which one is vector. Yeah, because they might ask this in the trial, in your trial. Okay lah, I think it's just only worth 1 mark, and I'm spending way too much time to explain this 1 mark question. But I'm just trying to get you to pandai tengok dia scalar or vector lah. And I think yeah, it's worth the time. It's worth explaining it to you. So hopefully after now, I mean after this video, you sudah pandai tahu lah yang mana scalar vector. Okay, let's do B. Soalan B. This is a vector question. Diagram 3 shows two straight line ODC and ADB. So let's read bawah sini. Given OA is 5P, you should label this. Yeah, for vector question, always label. So O to A, the arrow have to point to A. So like that, 5P. Next one, OB is thank you. Thank you. Okay, OB. So thank you. You're welcome. Okay, OB, thank you. Okay, like that. And the arrow going to B. Okay, AD ratio DB is 2 ratio 3. Okay, AD, the ratio is 2. Dia punya nisbah. So ratio you have to circle. You have to bulatkan. And then DB, dia punya nisbah 3, ratio 3 like that. Okay. And if you look carefully, you can actually find the vector for AB. Because AO plus OB you have already. Okay, but let's not find it first. Let's see what else. Okay, AC is MOB. Okay, this one you cannot label because they never give us the M. They never give us the M. If they give me the M, for example, they give us 7 here. Then I can label. Use the rainbow. AC ratio 7, OB ratio 1. But they never give me. The M they never give me. So we don't know that. We don't know what is the ratio for AC, OB. Same with this also. If they give us N, then baru kita tahu OD, OC punya ratio, but they never give us. So for now, I'll just leave it like this. And then I'll start reading number 1. Express OC in terms of M, P, and Q. Okay, I want to ask you. In this diagram, got M. Because they want the answer in terms of M, right? Ada M dekat sini. Tak ada kan? If you look at the whole question, dekat mana ada M? The only spot with M is here. Betul tak? Do you agree? So if you look at the whole question tak ada M. So, but they want the answer in terms of M. So obviously I cannot just do it by using this diagram. I have to do it by using this diagram and also this information if I want my answer to have M. Okay, because only this information have M. But I'm trying to find OC. This information is AC equals MOB, right? But I'm trying to find OC. So how? Okay, you can see O to C is this line, right? And then the information I must use is this one, AC equals MOB. And you can see AC is referring to this. Okay. So you can see what's the missing line here. OA, right? So what I will do, for OC, I will do O to A plus A to C. Okay. Yeah, OC, I will go what? O to A to C. And kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want the AC to be same with this AC so that I can change to MOB later. And if I change to MOB, then later my answer have M already. Because the question want the answer to be in terms of M. Okay. That's why I write OA plus AC. Okay. Then what about the OA? The OA just refer the diagram lah, 5P lah. So it become 5P plus MOB. But OB I don't have. Have here. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. So you have like that and then done already lah. This one just times so plus 10 MQ. That's the answer. Okay. So remember, if the soalan want it to be in terms of M, then you have to make sure jawapan the other end. So that's why I have to use this jalan no matter what. Okay. I'm trying to find OC, but the jalan I must passes through is AC. That is why I have to go OA AC like that. Okay, next one, second question. Same thing, they also ask to find OC, but the problem this time is they want in terms of N. So what do you think? Mestilah you kena guna information ni, betul? Because the whole question only sini saja ada N. You want it to be in terms of N. Huh? So look at this information. Let's study this. OD equals NOC. Wait, what I want to find? OC. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. It's the same. Oh my God. OC, OC. So do I have to take something plus something? Macam tadi? Tak payah. Kenapa tadi kena ambil something plus something? Because I'm trying to find OC, but this one is AC. That's why I do OA plus AC. But this one OC sudah sama. So why not you just pindah the N to the other side? Then it will become 1 over N. And then OD lah. It means OC is actually 1 over N OD. So now, you just sub the OD inside here, then you continue, then your answer automatically have N already. So how to find OD? Oh my God, I don't have. They never give me the vector for OD. So I think I have to guna jalan lain. So maybe I go OA plus AD or OB plus BD also can. Okay, let's do OA plus AD. Okay, and then for the 1 over N, I just write it. Okay, for OA, I know already is 5P. AD, I don't have, but don't worry, I have the ratio and also I have the whole AB vector. Because first, I sudah cakap already, you can find the whole AB vector, right? But I'm trying to find a part of AB. Saya nak sebahagian daripada AB saja, which is 2 over 5. Okay, because I'm trying to find from here to here only. So I want to find AD, but AD is actually 2 over 5. Because AD is 2 portion, and then the whole line is 5 portion. So AD is 2 over 5, AB, like that. And then continue. Okay, I write here 1 over N, and then 5P plus 2 over 5 AB vector. Okay, this one I put big bracket. Okay, for the AB vector, how you find it? You just go like this, AO plus OB. So negative 5P plus 10Q. Why negative 5P? Because O to A is 5P, so A to O is negative 5P. So the arrow is very important. Check the arrow. So the direction, if it's opposite direction, just tukar tanda jadi negative. And then plus 10Q. Okay, now we continue here. 1 over 9, N. And then the 2 over 5 can times inside. So 5P. Okay. Positive times negative is negative. 2 over 5 times 5 is 2. And then let P right beside plus 10 times 2 over 5. 10 times 2, 20 divided 5 is 4Q. And then bracket. Okay, 5P minus 2P boleh buat. Dapat 3P. So 1 over N and then 3P plus 4Q. And please don't leave your answer like that. Always expand it. So 3 over NP plus 4 over NQ. Yeah, because you take 3 times 1 over N, 4 times 1 over N. So you get this lah. Okay, saya sudah berjaya habiskan soalan number 2 because they ask for answer in terms of N, right? Ini in terms of N lah. Okay, what about now? What to do next? Next is number 3 lah. So they just find the value of M and N. This is easy. Okay, if you want to find M and N, what you have to do is, you remember just now for question 1, you already find vector OC in terms of MPQ. And then second question just now, you already find OC in terms of NPQ, right? So in order to find M and N, you just have to compare number 1 answer and number 2 answer. You can take the number 1 answer and number 2 answer and equal. Okay, this is the number 1 answer. This is the number 2 answer. And why both of these can equal? Because they are both vector OC. So the first question also, this is the vector OC. Ini pun vector OC. Okay. Cuma yang ini in terms of M, ini in terms of N. But they are still the same vector. They are still vector O to C. It means both of these can equal. And when you equal, you can compare. So how do you compare? You compare the coefficient. So you compare the coefficient of P. What is coefficient? The number before P here, I bulatkan. So what is the coefficient of P here? 3 over N, right? And they can connect together. Okay. So 3 over N equals 5. For the other one, same also. What is the coefficient of Q? 10 M. What is the coefficient of Q here? 4 over N. So they can connect. So 10 M equals 4 over N. And now you can find Mn. So the N pindah atas jadi 5N equals 3, N equals 3 over 5. And then the N sub inside 10M equals 4 divide 3 over 5. But put bracket. So 4 bahagi 3 over 5 is 4 times 5 over 3, which is 4 times 5, 20 over 3, 10M. And then what is your M? 20 divide 3 divide 10, 2 over 3. So that is the answer. This is the M answer, this is the N answer. You can use your calculator to help you. And I repeat one more time, why this one can connect macam tu. Kenapa dia boleh connect? Because they are both the same vector. They are both vector OC. That is why this one can equal to this. And when this one equal to this, the coefficient of P can compare with coefficient of P, coefficient of Q can compare with coefficient of Q. This is also why I recommend students to always kembang. You want it to be kembang so that your answer is like this, something P, something Q. This one also something P, something Q. So that when you compare, it will be easy lah. You just look at the coefficient and equal like that, right? Okay, that's all. Hope you understand.
Okay, let's continue. Number 7. So diagram 4 shows a logo designed using three congruent sectors with a radius of 12 cm. Okay, I think this is from 5 chapter 1. Yeah, the circle chapter, right? It's called circular measure. Okay, they mention about congruent here. So what is congruent? Congruent means same size, same shape. And there is three sector that is same size, same shape here with radius 12 cm. Let's see whether I can find out the three sector which is same size, same shape. Okay, I think I see it. So the first one is with the center A, right? And this will be the radius AC, AB, and then the arc will be the BC, right? Yeah, so this is the first sector. Okay. Hey, remember, sector consists of three lines. Okay, the radius, and the arc. Okay, where's the second sector? Let's use another color to highlight. So I think the another sector is when the center at B, and the radius will be B to C and B to A, and then the arc will be here lah. Yeah, the arc AC here. And the third sector, let's use another color, green color maybe. So the center will be at C, and this is the radius. C to A, C to B, and then the arc is down here. Okay. So yeah, this three sector is same size, same shape, because that's what congruent means. And also they say radius 12 cm. So I'm sure, so it means this yellow color line is 12. This also 12, this also 12 lah, because these are all radius, because you remember the red color sector, this two is radius, so 12 12, and then the yellow color sector, this one is 12 12 also. Yeah, so the green 12 12 also. So we can see that this triangle becomes the equilateral triangle. Okay, equilateral triangle means the three sides of the triangle all equal. Yeah, they have the equal length. Okay, semua sama panjang lah. And if the triangle tiga side sama panjang, then the tiga angle here will be same also. It will be 180 divided 3, which is 60 degree, 60 degree, 60 degree. Okay, but let's see what the soalan wants. Find the area of uncolored region, and they say use pi 3.142. So uncolored region will be here, here, and here, right? So how do you find that? Okay, I think I will do it like this. I will just find, because this is called a segment, right? So since all three sector are congruent, it means that these three segment will be same size also. It will be exactly the same size. So I will just find the area of one segment and then times 3. Yeah, that's the plan now. So I'll write here area of uncolored region. Okay. Of course, you can write area of segment also, but it's better to follow the question. So the question says uncolored, I'll just write uncolored. So I will straight away write 3 times. Okay, now I will use the area of segment formula. Okay, I don't know whether you got memorized or not. The segment formula looks like this: 1 over 2 r square bracket theta minus sine theta. This theta has to be in radian. This theta has to be in degrees. this. So I'm gonna use this formula now. Oh, just want to mention a bit. This formula actually come from 1 over 2 r square theta minus 1 over 2 r square sine theta. Because when you're trying to find area of segment, you are taking area of sector, which is 1 over 2 r square theta, minus the area of triangle, which is 1 over 2 r square sine theta. Okay, it's just that I already factorized out the 1 over 2 r square. That's why, yeah, that's why the formula looks like this. Okay, let's start. 1 over 2 r square. So the r will be radius, which is 12, right? Okay, I'm using the yellow color one, but it's this all same size, so it doesn't matter. So the radius is 12 square, and then theta minus sine theta, and of course the theta will be 60 degrees, but the 60 is in degree, so I have to convert radian, so I can put it here, right? So where I should convert? Okay, maybe I will wait somewhere here. So I'll just write 60 times with 3.142 divide 180. Okay, because that's how you convert to radian. When you convert radian, you have to take the angle times 3.142 divide 180. Okay, I'll press my calculator now. Okay, my calculator give me 1.047 radian. So in four significant figure, 1.047 radian. And now you can put in the theta here, 1.047, and the formula is minus sine, theta minus sine theta. So minus sine, and this theta here can be in degree, which is 60 lah. So now, okay, this one I think better put big bracket, right? Yeah. So the three last kali baru we do. Let's tekan all this. Okay, I will tekan 12 square divide 2, which is 72, and then multiply with bracket 1.047 minus sine 60. Okay, my calculator give me 13.03. Okay, 13.03. So I'll write in force in figure lah. So 13.03. But and then I will use the answer button times 3. Okay, I get 39.09. And since this is area, I have to make sure I write the cm square. Okay. And I think that's all. So that's yep. Okay, let's continue. Number 8. Okay, what chapter is this? So I see coordinate here. So I think I know already. This is Form 4, chapter 6. I think. Is it 6 or 7? The coordinate geometry chapter is chapter. Wait, it's 7. Yeah, it's 7. Chapter 6 is linear law. Chapter 7 is coordinate geometry, and chapter 8 is vector. So yeah, this is coordinate geometry. Okay, let's read the question. Solution by scale drawing and vectors are not accepted. Okay, this is not important. Coordinate of point A, B, C is 1, 1, 2, 6, 4, 2 respectively. So this is point A, this is point B, this is point C. Okay, find soalan A, the equation of straight line that passes through point A and the midpoint of BC. Okay, whenever you see the word find equation, you automatically think about what? The formula y equals mx plus c, and you will try to find the m and c and then put it in, right? But when we are doing Addmaths, there's another formula we use. Yeah. So in Addmaths, usually how I teach my students, I always tell them, in Addmaths, if you see the word find equation of straight line, you always have to think about this formula: y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. You can use the y equal mx plus c method also. Can also. You will end up getting the same answer. But when we are doing the Addmaths, I usually use the Addmaths way to do it, which is this formula. Okay, this formula requires the you to get the gradient and the x1 y1. Okay, it means you need to have the gradient m, and you also need the x1 y1. Okay, the x1 y1 will be a point, it will be the coordinate, but you have to make sure the point got passes through lah. Okay, so they already mentioned here the straight line passes through point A. So later the x1 and the y1 confirm you can put in the point A 1 1 already. The one will be x1, one will be y1. But the masala here is the m, the gradient. Okay, so I think my job now is to find the m. After I get the m, then only I can use this formula, okay, to find the equation. Okay, how to find the m? Okay, let's see what it says. The equation of straight line passes through point A and BC. So if I sketch out the line, it will passes through point A, and it will pass through another point, and they call it the midpoint BC. So I think I have to find out the point BC. You know why? Because I'm trying to find the gradient. And when you find gradient, you need 2 points. You need 2 points. Okay? Two complete coordinate. Because the formula for gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. But if you don't have the second coordinate, you can't find the gradient. So let's find out the midpoint BC. Then only I find the gradient. Then only I can find the gradient. Okay, I'll just write here midpoint BC. Okay, the midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, and then y1 plus y2 over 2. Yeah, that's the midpoint formula. And this formula is given in the exam. Okay, so BC, so I'll just look at point B and point C, and I'm trying to find the titik tengah, right? Titik tengah, just take the 2x plus x bahagi 2. So 2 plus 4 divide 2, followed by 6 plus 2 divide 2. And you end up with 2 plus 4, 6 divide 2, 3, 6 plus 2, 8 divide 2, 4. So that means this, the equation of line I want to find now actually passes through point A and the midpoint BC, and I just find it is 3, 4. And point A is 1, 1. And kenapa I cari the midpoint is because now we can find the gradient already, because we have 2 points. So I'll just write here gradient. Okay, or you want to write m also can. So gradient will be, the formula for gradient is take the y minus y divide by x minus x. So 4 minus 1, 3 minus 1. That's why I find the midpoint BC dulu lah. Okay, I'll end up with 4 minus 1, which is 3 over 2. Okay, now I have the gradient, and now I also have the point for the x1 y1, which is the point A, 1 1. So now I can use this formula. Okay, so I'll just continue from here. So okay, let me erase this. I want to make space. Okay, so the formula I will use is this: y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. So it'll be y minus y, but you don't go and take y minus 4. It will be wrong one. I told you already, the x1, y1, you sub with which coordinate? You sub with the coordinate that the line got passes through punya. You cannot sub with any point you want. You don't go into sub point C or 3, 4. No. The soalan says here passes through point A only. Eh? Point A and midpoint BC. Okay, so can lah. Okay, actually use the 3, 4 also can. Because the 3, 4 also got passes through, right? Yeah. So what I'm trying to explain here is you kena tahu dia kena ada passes through baru boleh guna lah. Okay, I'll just use point A. So y minus 1 and then x minus 1 here. And then for the gradient is 3 over 2. But if you use the 3, 4, you will get the same answer also. Because they got passed through the midpoint of BC also, which is 3, 4. So can also. Okay, let's expand this. 302 times x is 302x times negative 1 is minus 302. And then this will be y minus 1. And if we make it linear form, so y equals 302x, the minus 1 I move here become plus 1. Negative 302 plus 1 is negative 1 over 2. So this is the equation of straight line. Y equals 302x minus 1 over 2. Okay, that's all. Now we can continue with B. So let me scroll down a bit. Okay, for B, I will do it down here. So they want to find area of triangle ABC. Okay, in coordinate geometry, how you find the area of triangle? By using the formula. The formula looks like this: 1 over 2 modulus, and then you put in the first coordinate, second coordinate, third coordinate, fourth coordinate, and then close the modulus. And the coordinate will be the point A, point B, point C punya coordinate. Okay. Yeah, so you put in the, basically the formula is you need the coordinate for all the bucu ataupun all the vertices of the triangle. So the vertices is vertex A, B, and C. So we have all the coordinates here. So we can just put in the coordinate. So the first bucu of the triangle is 1 1. So 1 1, that's the coordinate. Second corner 2 6, and then the third corner 4 2. Write it like this. But before you tutup the modulus, you have to repeat the first one, which is 1 1 like that. Okay, now you can continue, and the way to do it is you have to darab silang. Start from atas, start from the number atas, and then you darab silang like this. So 1 times 6, 6, plus 2 times 2, 4, plus 4 times 1, 4, minus. Okay, why suddenly minus? Because you already darab macam ni, and then sini tak ada dah. So you have to go back and do it in reverse now. Do like that, like the other direction. Okay, so when you go back and change direction, then you have to write minus here. So 1 times 2, 2, and then minus also. 6 times 4, 24, and then minus also, and then 2 times 1, 2. This is how you do it. Okay, now you continue. So it becomes 1 over 2 modulus. Okay, this one you can quickly use calculator. 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 4, 14, minus 2, 12, minus 2, 10, 10 minus negative 14. Okay, you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, modulus negative 14 will be positive 14. And then 14 divided by 2 is just 7. But this is area, right? So better write unit square. Okay, that's the area of triangle. Sudah siap. Okay, for the last part, part C. So they says find the equation of locus of moving point P such that it is always equidistant from A and C. Okay, when you do locus question, locus is actually a moving point. Okay, it's a moving point. And whenever we do locus question, I will always tell my students to let the moving point become xy first. But they already do that for me. They already say it's point P and it's xy. Okay, so I'll just write let P xy here lah. They already let the P xy for me. So they say point P will move such that, so it's always equidistant from A and C. What it means is, let's say this is point A and this is point C. point P will move that such that is the distance between A and the distance between from P to C. I mean distance from P to A and P to C is always equidistant. That means basically what you're doing is you're doing a perpendicular bisector. Okay, so if I draw a line joining AC, then the locus will be the perpendicular bisector that cut AC in the middle. Okay, this is the equation I'm trying to find now. It means I'm trying to find this line right here, the equation of this line, the perpendicular bisector of AC. Okay, perpendicular bisector of AC. So how do you do that? Of course, you can also use the formula I showed you just now in A, which is this formula, y minus y1 equals gradient x minus x1. But first, you need to find the gradient of the line. And how you do that? You can find gradient of AC first, and then you use the formula m1 times m2 equals -1. Because when two lines are perpendicular, the m1 times m2 equals -1. So you use that formula to find the gradient of the perpendicular bisector. And after you get the gradient, use the midpoint of AC, because the perpendicular bisector will passes through the midpoint of AC. Okay, so that's one of the method to do it. Another method is use the distance formula, which is what I'm about to do now. Yeah, I will not use the method I mentioned earlier to do it, which is this formula. I will use the distance formula to do it. How to use the distance formula? Okay, you already let P x y, right? And look at the condition here. The moving point P is always equidistant from A and C. It means the distance of PA and PC is always remain equal. So PA, it means, yeah, doesn't matter how the P move, the PA jarak, the PA distance is always same with the PC distance. Okay, so now I'll use the distance formula. The distance formula is square root bracket square plus bracket square, and inside the bracket here will be x minus x, y minus y. Okay, same thing here. You will use it again, the distance formula to find the distance of PC. The formula also same, bracket square plus bracket square, and then here is x minus x, y minus y. Okay, this one we are trying to find distance of PA. So of course we need the coordinate for P and A. Okay, P is xy, but A we have to refer tengok atas. So let me tengok atas. So point P is xy, point A is 1 1. So if I want to find distance, I have to take x minus x. So I can take x minus 1, y minus 1. So here is x minus x minus 1, and then here y minus 1. Okay, for this bracket it will be the distance for PC. So I'll look at point P and point C lah. So it will be x minus 4, y minus 2, like that. Okay. Okay, now we can just continue and keep going, and then yeah, eventually you'll get the answer. Okay, first of all, the square root here you can cancel them. Yeah, you can basically cut the square root. The reason why you can cut is because you can square both sides. When you square both sides, the square root will automatic hilang lah. So now I don't have to write the square root anymore. You just left with the bracket x minus 1 square, but when you expand, you will get x square. Okay, and then x times -1 times 2. X times -1 is -1, x times 2 is -2x. And then -1 square is +1. Okay, same thing here. Expand this thing. How you expand? First you take y square, so you get y square, and then y times -1 times 2. So y times -1, -1y times 2, -2y, and then last step is take the -1 square plus 1. Okay, done. Okay, for this also the square root no need to write already. X minus 4 square expand, I'll get x square, and then x times -4 times 2. So -4x times 2 is -8x, and then -4 square is +16. Right? This one also same thing, same step. Take the y square, you get y square, and then y times -2, which is -2y times 2 is -4y, and then -2 square is +4. Okay, now we have to pin out everything on one side equals 0, because when we are doing locus question, usually it's like that one. We always write the answer in general form. General form means everything on one side equals 0. Okay, yeah. So we already know this will be a perpendicular bisector. It will be equation of perpendicular bisector, so definitely won't have square one. So you can see that this x square and x square can cut. Yeah, they can cancel, because when you pin out the x square jadi minus kan. So x square minus x square becomes 0. Same with the y square. Positive y square, the positive y square here, yeah, they will jadi kosong also, because when you pin out. So the next thing you have to write x lah. So I can here see sini ada x, and then mana lagi kawan dia? Ini pun ada x. So the -8x I pindah sini jadi +8. So the -2 plus 8 I will end up 6x. Okay. Okay. Next step is I have to write the y. So -2y minus 4y. Okay. But the -4 I pindah here jadi +4. So if you press calculator, -2 plus 4 is +2y. Okay. Okay. And then the last step is to the number lah. So +1 plus 1 is +2. And then 16 plus 4 is 20. So here is 2. 2 minus 20 is -18. Okay, so there you go. There you have it. That's the equation of the perpendicular bisector, or the equation of locus P. Okay, so now you are done. Then that's all lah, that's the answer lah. Okay, but I noticed something. You can actually kecilkan. You can simplify this further because all these numbers can divide by 2. Okay, so yeah, let's do that. So 6x divide 2 is 3x divide by 2, 1y divide by 2, 9. The 0 also divide by 2, but 0 divide 2 is 0 also. So that's the answer. Okay, so this is the equation of locus, or the equation of perpendicular bisector. Okay, all right, that's all. Okay, let's continue with number 9. Okay, which chapter is this? All right, I think I see it already. This is from 5 chapter. And which chapter is this? Chapter 4. It's called the permutation and combination chapter, the P and C chapter. Okay, let's do it. Find the number of even numbers. What is even? Nombor genap. Nombor genap means number that is divisible by 2. Okay? Okay, that can be formed from all the digits 4, 3, 5, 7, with all the digits except 4 appearing exactly twice. Okay, actually this question is, I feel very familiar. Okay, and it's because because this is the Selangor set 2 question. Yeah, this is the Selangor set 2 paper, and I did the Selangor set 1 paper before. Like around 9 months ago, I did the Selangor set 1 paper, and I even uploaded it on my channel. Let me just show you quickly the Selangor set 1. So this is the set 1. Okay, and the question is very similar to the set 2. Very, very similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's like quite similar. Like you can see the question 8 is also like quite similar. Okay, but of course it's not exactly the same lah. You can see the coordinate tak sama, right? Yeah, but it's quite similar. You can see like the question is like very similar. That's why it's very uh s- like I feel familiar. So you can see this number 9. Find number of odd numbers. 5, 2, 4, 6, 8, 5, and you look at this diagram. It's almost identical with this, right? But it's not exactly the same lah. Yeah, yeah, it's a bit different. Okay, and actually all the questions are like that. If you look at number 10, number 11, yeah, all the questions are similar. Okay, just want to point that out lah. Okay, but if you want the explanation for the Selangor set 1 paper, you can, yeah, you can just go watch it. It's on my channel. I uploaded it like 9 months ago. Okay, yeah, but now I'm doing set 2, so I'll just give you the explanation for set 2. Okay, let's go. 9A. They want a number of even numbers, but let's look at what option we have. We have 4, 3, 5, 7, but they said with all the digits except 4 appearing exactly twice. It means every digit here will appear exactly twice. So, but except 4 lah. So 4 appear once, 3 appear 2 times, 5 appear 2 times, 7 appear 2 times. So this is the option we have. So we have how many options? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and now we are trying to find the number of even numbers that can be formed from all the digits. It means I'm trying to arrange 7 digits also, because all ma. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but there is a condition here. We want it to be even numbers. That means the last digit here is very important, because if the last digit here is 5, then the whole number is not even already. So you have to make sure this last box is even number. But if you look at all the option you have, there's only one even number, which is 4. That means the 4 has to go in here. Okay, so this box is already reserved. Okay, dia mesti masuk, boleh masuk 4 saja. All these number all cannot, because kalau you nak even number nombor genap, you make the 4 must go in here. So that means this has to be 1P1. Okay, because there's only one even, like one number that can only go into one box, so it's 1P1. Then what about the rest here? Okay, you left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 slot. So 6 digit you arrange in this 6 slot, that we call that 6P6, and then multiply them. Okay, but wait. You can see that these 6 digits, they are some identical object. What is identical object? It means some of these repeats, right? So how do you find the permutation when there is a identical? You have to divide with the number of identical object. So the formula is n factorial bahagi a factorial b factorial c factorial. Okay, and what is the ABC stands for? ABC, these are all the number of identical object for each set. Okay, for each set. And you can see for this question actually got 3 set of identical object, because 3 got identical, 5 also got identical, 7 also got identical. So the a factorial would be 2, factorial, and then this one the number the second set identical is 5, and yeah, there's two identical 5, and then 7 also two identical 7, so like that. So the formula is 6p6 divide 2 factorial divide 2 factorial divide 2 factorial, and then times 1p1. Okay, so when you press this, you will get the answer. So the answer is 720 divided by 8, and then you get 90. So there's 90 ways. Okay, there's 90 ways to arrange. Okay, if you want the even number. Okay, okay, I think that's all. So let's move on. Okay, soalan B. Okay, diagram 5. You can see this diagram is like exactly the same as the Selangor set 1. Yeah, I mean even the AB also same, the 1 2, because you don't ask for triangle quadrilateral, right? See, this one also same. See, triangle quadrilateral. Oh my god, they are recycling the question. Apa macam ni? Okay, tak apa lah. Then we just do only lah. Okay, let's go. Diagram 5 shows a three straight line L1, L2, L3. Okay, got three lines. Okay. It is given that 3 points lie on L1. L1 this one Okay, so let's just put three dots here, showing that there's 3 points on this line. Okay, good. And then 3 points lie on L2. Okay, L2 also 3 points. Okay, let's just put any 3 points anywhere on this line. Next, 4 points on L3. One, two, three, four. Okay, done. If the points from each line are used to form a polygon, okay, what's the meaning? It means all these lines have to be used, because they said from each line are used to form a polygon. So I'll just draw an example lah. So like if I use each point from each line, I will end up getting three dots and I'll form a triangle like that. Okay, but you cannot join like that. You cannot join like that. Why cannot join like that? Because they already said points from each line are used to form a polygon. So if you do like that, you can see you missed out the L3 line. And they said you have to use each and every line. Okay, each line means you have to use all three lines. So all three lines have to use. And then they say find number of triangles that can be formed. Okay, so if you want to form a triangle and you want to use all three lines, it means all from here you have to choose one point. From here you have to choose one point. From here you have to choose one point. So it means from the L1 there's 3 points. You have to choose one. Multiply with from the L2 also 3C1, and then from here will be 4C1. It's the only way if you want to form a triangle. Okay, yeah. Here choose one. Here choose one. Here choose one. Okay, so you end up getting 36, and that is the answer. Okay. Okay, second question, they said find number of quadrilaterals that can be formed. Okay, for quadrilaterals, you need 4 points. Okay, because quadrilateral has four sides. So let me just draw one example here. So I can use 1 point here, another point here, and another point I can use on L3. But as you can see, if I go like that, then it's not a quadrilateral, right? So maybe I have to go where? Maybe go here, right? And then go up. That means if I want to form a quadrilateral, but I only have three lines, okay? It means one of the line I have to choose 2 points. You understand what I'm saying? I repeat one more time. There's only three lines, right? And if you want to use points from each line to form the quadrilateral from each line, okay, then one of the line you need to end up choosing 2 points. Kalau tak cukup bucu. Because you want it to form a quadrilateral with four sides. Okay, but there's only three lines. Okay, so one of the line, it means you have to choose, and also you cannot join like that. Cannot. This one cannot. Why cannot? Because same thing. You missed out the L3 already. They already said you must use points from each line. So all three have to end up get. Yeah. Need to have at least 1 point from each line. Need to have at least 1 point from each and every line. So let's go L1 and choose 2 points. So it'll be 3C2. Because if from here I choose 2 points, then I only need 1 point from L2, 1 point from L3. So from L2, 3C1, and then from L3, 4C1. That's one way to do it, right? But it can also be 2 points from L2. It can also be 2 points from L2. So that means that 3C2 will be here, okay? But if I choose 2 points from L2, then the L1 I only need 1 point, and then from L3 I only need 1 point to form the quadrilateral, okay? Because you have enough 4 points. Okay, for the last one is maybe you can also choose L3 two coordinates here, right? So it will be 4C2, okay? But if I choose 2 points from here, then I only need one from the each L1 and the L2. So this will be 3C1, 3C1. Okay, now it's time to press calculator. This one you get 36. This one you get 3 times 3, 9 times 3, 27. 3, 9 times 4C2. What is that? 50, 54. Okay. Wait, I think I made a mistake here. This is not 27. Yeah, this is not 27. Let me press again. It is 27. Wait. What's uh did I made a mistake somewhere? Let me think, huh? Okay. 3C1 times 3C2. Oh, I see. This is not 3 lah, guys. Okay, remember this one is I choose 2 points from the L2, right? So that means from the L1 I choose 1.3C1, and then from L3 I choose 1. So this should be 4. So I made a careless mistake. Okay, I go and write 3. Okay, so it's a careless mistake. So this one, if I press again, what I get? 12 times 3. Okay, 36. Okay, but the answer would be all this tambah together. Tambah, add together. So the number of quadrilaterals formed would be how many? Everything add together. So I'll just write here dot 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 36 plus 36 plus 54. You get 126 ways. Okay. Yeah. The the question one is 36 ways. This one is 126. Okay. Okay, that's all. Sudah siap. Okay, let's continue. Number 10. Okay, this one is very obvious. Is which chapter, right? Just you see the DX, you know already. So this one is Form 5, Chapter 2. It's called differentiation. Dalam bahasa Melayu, pembezaan. Okay, let's do it. It is given that d over dx 2 over x plus 5 minus 3 equals to fx. Find integrate 2 negative 1 1 over 2 fx dx. Okay, if you want to find the integrate 2, this one integrate 1 over 2 fx dx, you need to use this information. Okay, but how? How to use that? Okay, you can see the information. They tell you differentiate this equals to this. But the soalan asks you to find integrate. So how? We convert the information. We convert this information so that the information become integrate something equals something, because now it's differentiate something equals something, but I'm trying to do integrate later. So you convert. How you convert? You can actually pindah the d to the other side. When you pindah the d to the other side, it will become the integrate symbol, and the fx stay there, and then the dx duduk bawah kan. But when you move it there, dia akan duduk atas macam tu. Okay. And then the integrate fx dx will be this 2 over x plus 5 minus 3. Okay. So I repeat one more time. This d actually move here, and then the d will be here already. I mean, sorry. The d stands for differentiate. When you pindah to the other side, it becomes integrate. And then the dx move here become dx. And then this one hilang already. So it means integrate fx dx will give you this. That's why I write integrate fx dx equals 2 over x plus 5 minus 3. Okay, now we can see what the question wants. Now we can try to do this. Okay. So what the question wants? Integrate from negative 1 to 2 and then 1 over 2 fx dx, which is very different from this. Okay, but it's a bit similar. This one is integrate fx dx. This one is integrate 1 over 2 fx dx. So the 1 over 2 is kacau, right? So actually the 1 over 2 you can letak depan macam tu. Okay, yeah, you can letak depan macam ni. Okay. What's the why you can letak depan macam ni is because that's the property of definite integral. Okay, when you have integrate k fx dx, and if the hubungan here is times, okay, if there is like a times relationship, you can take the k here and then become k times integrate fx dx. But only if it's a times, only when the hubungan here is darab. If it's tambah tolak, then don't. Cannot. Okay, so it will be like that. And then what happens now? 1 over 2. This one is same with this one already. You see, integrate fx dx. So I can straight away write this whole thing down here. But wait, this one, dia tak ada number sini. But the one I'm trying to find out, dia ada number negative 1, 2 sini. That means I cannot just put this in like that. I have to open a big bracket. And then after I write the 2 over x plus 5 minus 3, I have to write the 2 negative 1 here. Because this number here means that you have to sub the 2 and negative 1 inside the x. And then tengah-tengah minus. So now it becomes 1 over 2. And for this part, you have to sub the 2 inside and then right here. And then sub the negative 1 inside right here. And then close. And then tengah-tengah have to minus. Okay. Why got two bracket? This bracket is for you to sub 2 inside. And then the second bracket is for you to sub negative 1 inside. Okay, so now let's sub 2. 2 plus 5, 7. So you left with 2 over 7 minus 3. Now sub negative 1. Negative 1 plus 5, positive 4. And then 2 divided positive 4 is 1 over 2. So it's 1 over 2 minus 3. And then now you use your calculator to help you finish the whole thing. Okay, the 1 over 2, jangan buat dulu. Let's do the minus first. Okay, 2 over 7 minus 3. Negative 19 over 7. Okay, and then minus, okay, say minus 1 over 2 minus 3. If you press calculator, you will get negative 5 over 2. Okay, but there's already satu minus here, so you have to use another bracket like that. And then here, make sure you close with the big bracket. Okay, now you press negative 19 over 7 plus 5 over 2 lah. So wait for me, I'm pressing now. Okay, my calculator give me negative 3 over 14. Okay, so now you just have to do negative 3 over 14 times 1 over 2, which is negative 3 over 14 divide 2. Okay, so you press this in your calculator, answer divide 2, you get negative 3 over 28. Okay, so that is the final answer. Okay, sudah siap. Okay, continue. Number 11. What chapter is this? Given that curve y equals x minus 5 square over x, find coordinate of stationary point. Okay, I see the word stationary, nature, stationary. Okay, Form 5, chapter 2, differentiation. Okay, okay, let's talk about what is stationary point first. Because if you don't know the meaning of stationary point, I don't think you can do this question. Stationary. What is stationary point? It means turning point. Okay, turning point. It means the minimum point, maximum point. Those are what we call the turning point or stationary point. Dalam bahasa Melayu, it's called titik pegun. Okay, titik pegun. Okay, how to find the titik pegun coordinate? Alright, in differentiation, you learn about it, and how you find it is you do dy dx equals 0. Because when you're trying to find turning point, the gradient tangent will be 0. And gradient tangent is gradient tangent is basically the dy dx. The dy dx answer. So what you do now is just do dy dx equals 0. Okay. So first step, you find the dy dx lah. So let's write the equation first. Y equals x minus 5 square over x, like that. Okay, now we are done. Now we can try to differentiate, which means find the dy dx lah. Okay, how to differentiate this equation? Okay, for this, you have to use the UV method. Okay, you have to use the UV method. Okay, the way I teach my student is, I always tell them, kalau ada X bawah, you tak boleh differentiate. So you will always try to naik atas kalau ada X bawah lah. So you can see you want to naik atas, right? I mean, you have X bawah, but you want to naik atas. But actually, you have to make sure atas tak ada X baru boleh naik. If up here tak ada X baru boleh naik. So atas sini sudah ada X, so you tak boleh naik. Then I always tell student, if tak boleh buat macam ni, you try to separate. You try to separate. Separate means if bawah ada satu term, you separate like that. And if you can separate, then you separate, then baru you differentiate. Okay. And if separate also cannot, then only you use UV. Okay. Okay. Why this one cannot separate is because you can see bawah ada satu term, but why cannot separate? Because this one is the whole thing bracket square. Okay. Unless I expand first lah. I think no need to use UV lah. I just realized. Actually, want to use UV also can, but I realize actually don't want use UV also can, because I can just expand the power 2, right? Yeah, power 2 is not a power yang tak boleh expand. Power 2 we can expand. So I think I can expand it, and then after I expand, I separate lah. I separate into 3 terms. Because bawah ada satu term, so I separate, and then I differentiate. Yeah, let's do it like that. Yeah, of course, if you can choose between UV or the normal way, of course the normal way would be much more faster lah. That's why I didn't end up using the UV. Okay, so first I will expand the up here first. So when you expand, what you do, you take the x square, and then you take the x times negative 5 times 2, so negative 10x, and then negative 5 times 2, positive 25. That's how you expand. And after you do this, you still cannot differentiate yet because other x dekat bawah, but you can separate this into 3 terms. Because when bawah ada satu term, atas ada 3 term, you can separate it like this, like this, like this. So what you end up getting? You end up getting x squared over x minus 10x over x plus 25 over x, right? But you still cannot differentiate, but now you actually can cut already. X squared divided x power 1 is x power 1, because this one 2 minus 1 is 1. And then x and x can cut, you left with 10. And then this one later you want to differentiate, so the x you better naik atas. Yang ni boleh naik atas sebab atas tak ada x. Tadi tak boleh mah sebab tadi atas ada x tak boleh. But this one you can move up, so it become x power negative 1. When you move up, the power have to tukar tanda. Yeah, the power have to change sign. So x power 1 become x power negative 1. And then now you get the dy dx. Okay, differentiate x is 1. Differentiate negative 10 is 0. Differentiate this one, you will take the power times with number negative 1 times 25, negative 25. And then power minus 1 is negative 2. Okay. And the power negative 2, you can put it back down. And when you put it back down, it become x power 2. So remember, when you letak bawah or naik atas, the power kena tukar tanda lah. Okay, done. This is my dy dx. But don't forget, they never ask for, they ask for stationary point. And what you have to do, when you find stationary point, you have to ganti dy dx equals 0. So I write when mt equals 0. Mt means gradient tangent. So when gradient tangent equals 0, means dy dx equals 0 lah. So 1 minus 25 over x square equals 0. Dy dx and gradient tangent is the same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, how do you find x? So I think I'll pin out a bit here. So 25 over x square move here and then 1. Okay. The negative here pindah sudah jadi positif lah. Okay, how to find x? Okay, this x square I can just pindah sini jadi darab, so become x square equals 25, and now you can find x, just square root the 25. But when you do the square root, there's two answer, plus minus. So x equals to 5 or x equals negative 5. Okay, when you do square root, remember to write the plus minus. All right, we are not done, because when you find stationary point, point is titik. Titik mesti ada coordinate x dan coordinate y. This is just the x coordinate. Okay, but got two answer, right? It means got two stationary point lah, got two turning point lah. Okay, ada dua turning point lah. Okay, so I need to sub the x back to the original equation to get the y coordinate. Okay, so let me kecilkan sikit. So I will write here like that. Let's not do that. I'll just do it like, okay, I'll just separate it here and then write when x equals to 5, and then when x equals negative 5, right? And then I want to find the y coordinate, so I can sub inside this one also can. This one all y all can lah. But let's sub into the paling atas punya lah. So y equals to bracket x minus 5 square over x. Okay. So this one is x minus 5, but the x is 5, 5 like that. Okay, and then you press this, you will get 5 minus 5, 0, 0 square, 0, 0 divided 5, 0. So the first point come out already, 5, 0. Okay, okay, another point is y equals, okay, sub inside, so bracket x minus 5 square over x. And then here you sub negative 5, here you sub negative 5. Okay, negative 5 minus 5, negative 10, square is 100. 100 divided negative 5, negative 20. So you can use your calculator to help you. Okay, and then this one you get negative 5, negative 20. That's the point. Okay, so the first question A asks for stationary point, and that's the stationary point lah. So I'll just write one more baris for them. So what's the stationary point? 5, 0 and negative 5, negative 20. Okay, okay, let's do B. B, they says hence determine the nature of the stationary point. What is nature? Nature means they want you to mention the stationary point, whether it's a minimum point or maximum point. But there's one more. There's one more nature, which is the inflection point. Okay, inflection point. Okay, inflection point is when your second derivative d2y dx2 is equals to 0. Okay, minimum point is when your second derivative is positive. Okay, then it's a minimum point. And then maximum is when your second derivative d2y dx2 is lesser than 0. This one have to know lah. This one very important. So I repeat one more time. Stationary point, it can be minimum, maximum, or inflection point. But how do you know? How do you know whether is the turning point is minimum or maximum inflection? You find the second derivative, and if the second derivative is 0, then it's inflection point. Okay, inflection point look like this, like this, like this, like this, and then this point is the inflection point. Okay, and then minimum point. Okay, the one you know lah. Minimum means the lowest point, and maximum means the highest. Okay, but inflection is like that, like it's like this. It's not really minimum, it's not really maximum, it's like in between. Yeah. Then we call it inflection. Okay. Now without further ado, let's find out the second derivative. What is second derivative? It means you take the dy dx and you differentiate one more time. Because dy dx is the first derivative. So to get the second derivative, you take the dy dx and then you differentiate one more time. So my eyes have to look at these baris, because I'm trying to differentiate this one more time, right? So differentiate 1 is 0. Differentiate negative 25 x power negative 2. So you have to take the power times with the negative 25. So you get positive 50. And then the power have to minus 1, become x power negative 3. And then the power you can put it back down, become x power 3. right? But you're trying to find the second derivative value. So the x, you must sub with what? You must sub with the x coordinate of the stationary point. If you want to test for this point, then you sub 5 lah. If you want to test this point, then you sub -5. And then the result will tell you whether it's a minimum point or maximum or inflection. Okay, let's say I want to test for this point. So I just have to sub the x5 inside here and see whether I get bigger 0, smaller 0 or 0. Okay, so let's do that now. When x equals 5, and then my second derivative d2y dx2 will give me 50 over bracket power 3. This one is 5. So I'll get 50 over 125, right? But you can use calculator to help you simplify this. So my calculator give me 2 over 5. So let's just erase this and write 205. All right, 205 is a second derivative value you get after you sub with the x coordinate of this stationary point. So tell me, this point is bigger 0 or smaller 0? It's positive number, so it's bigger 0. So automatic means that this is a minimum. Okay, then automatic, the next one will be maximum already. But I will do it anyway. So when x equals, okay, the other one you have to sub with -5. Okay, and when you sub -5, you are not just testing for this, you are testing for the whole point. Yeah, you are testing for whether the whole point is minimum or maximum. Okay, it means you only need the x coordinate to know whether it's minimum or maximum. You don't need the y coordinate. Okay, when you sub the x coordinate, it's already test for the whole point already. Okay, let's go. When x equals -5, the second derivative d2y dx2 will be 50 over bracket power 3 -5 power 3, and you end up getting -205, which is lesser than 0, which indicates maximum. Okay, but I recommend you write one more baris clearly, because they say determine nature of stationary point. So I recommend you put dot 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 like that, and then you write clearly, like write the final answer nicely. Okay, so they understand what it means. So I recommend write like this. So the first point is 50, right? That's the first stationary point. So I write 50 is a minimum or maximum? Is a minimum point. Why? Because when you try to sub the x coordinate of this point inside the second derivative, you get a positive value. That is why. And then for the other one is a -5, -20, and this one is a maximum lah, because I show the working here already. Okay, it's a maximum point. Okay, yeah, and I'm sure they will give you mark here, right? That's why it's important to write these baris. Okay, so that it's clear what you are finding. All right, so that's the B. That's the B working. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's move on to number 12. All right, number 12, I think this is from 5 chapter, the probability distribution chapter, chapter 5. Yeah. In Bahasa Melayu, it's called taburan kebarangkalian. Okay, probability distribution. Okay. All right, let's read the question. In a certain game, the probability of Kayom winning is 0.25. So this is the probability of winning. So how do we write this information down? I write P, P stands for probability, and then I'll just write win here, equal to 0.25. And then keep reading. The game was carried out for n times. So n is the number of times the game was carried out. But they never give us, so the n is basically like question mark, I don't know. Okay? And then the probability for him to win once is 10 times the probability of losing all game. So then A, find the value of n. Okay, first of all, I want you to know something. This chapter 5, this chapter 5 is there's two subtopic. There's two subtopic. The first part of this chapter is called binomial, and then the second part is called normal distribution. For normal distribution, you need to use the z value table, which is provided in the exam paper. The z value, the z score table. But this question is a binomial question, and how I know that is because if it's a normal question, if it's a normal distribution question, you will see the word normal in the soalan here. Yeah, the word normal will appear in the question. But ada tak you nampak perkataan normal sini? Tak ada kan? So automatic it means binomial, right? And for binomial, there's 4 formula you learn under binomial distribution. Okay, and I don't know whether you can tell me the 4 formulas or not. But if you are my student, I expect you to know it. Yeah, because for my own student, I always, yeah, I repeat this so many times in my class to my own students. So the 4 formulas you learn for binomial is, first formula is to the probability formula. Okay, is there any space here? Okay, I'll just write up here. So the first formula under binomial is the probability formula. The formula looks like this: px equals x equals ncx, p power x, q power n minus x. And we use this formula when we want to find probability. Okay. Second formula you learn under binomial is the mean formula. This is the mean symbol, and the formula is NP, right? And then the third for one is variance. This is the variance symbol. The formula is NPQ. And then the fourth formula is the standard deviation, which is same with the variance, but got square root. Yeah, square root the variance lah. Okay, these are the four formulas that you will use. You need to know when you're doing binomial distribution. Okay, now let's try to do A now. Find the value of n. But they mentioned something here. Probability for him to win once is 10 times the probability of losing all game. So confirm later you have to use this formula. Okay, because they mentioned the word probability here already, right? Uh, for B question only, you will use the variance formula. Okay, because that's for B. All right, before I continue, I just want to mention this question, question 12, is exactly same with SPM 2017. Exactly the same. When I say exactly, I mean that the value also same, the cari n punya part pun same, the permintaan soalan also same, just the name saja tak same. Yeah, yeah, it's like only the name only tak sama. The Kayom they use another guy's name, but everything else exactly the same. Even this line also same. Probability for him to win once is 10 times same, exactly the same as SBN 2017. Okay, yeah. So it's like they are recycling question from SPM 2017. So yeah, I just thought it's like I just thought that it's important to point it out lah. So I just mentioned it because you all are preparing for the SPM. Okay. So yeah, I just point out. I think it's important to point it out that point this out. So I just tell you. Okay. So this is same with SPM 2017. If you go to SPM 2017, you will find this exact same question there. Okay. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. So probability for him to win once is 10 times the probability of losing all game. Okay, we don't know the n, we are trying to find the n, but we need the p and q. Because when you're doing binomial distribution, you can see all the four formulas, doesn't matter which formula you use, you need the npq, right? Without the npq, you like semua formula ni tak boleh guna. Okay, so what is the p? P will be probability of success, q will be probability of failure, right? Remember they give us the probability of winning is 0.25, so we can make that the p. Yeah, we can make that the p. It means probability of winning will be the P. And then probability of losing will be 1 minus 0.25, which is 0.75, which is the losing punya probability lah. And since winning is success, then we can write down the notation for this already. Probability of him win once is Px equals 1 lah. Correct ah? Because now your probability of success is probability of winning. So the probability of him to win once will be Px equals 1. Okay? Is 10 times the probability of losing all game. So 10 times with losing all game, it will be Px equals 0. Okay, because you make the winning, because your probability of success is the probability of winning. Okay, so when you are trying to find the probability of losing all, you are winning 0 game lah. You win 0 game because you lose all ma. You lose all the game. You lose all the game. Imagine you lose all the game. It means you win how many times? You succeed how many times? You succeed 0 times. So that is why losing all game is the equivalent, is same with like winning 0 game, Px equals 0. Okay. So now I'll use this formula 2 times. Okay, one to find the Px equals 1, another time to find Px equals 0, and try to find n from there. Okay, so now I can scroll down. Now it's time to use the formula. Okay, the formula is NCX, so it will be NC1. But you don't have the n, right? But it's okay. It's okay. Just write n. Okay? And then bracket. Okay, the PQ we have. So that's 0.25, 0.75. Okay, I'm so familiar with this question because when I do revision for this question with my student, I always do the SPM past year. And I told you right, this is same with SPM 2017. Yeah, so I'm so used to this question already. I did it so many times already. Okay, so the power here will be same with the number down here 1, and then atas minus atas, so n minus 1 equals to 10 times. Okay, Px equals 0, same formula. NC0 bracket bracket, and then this is 0.25, this is 0.75. The power here will be same with number down here 0, and then n minus 0 will be n here. Okay, now that you are done, now cuba tengok yang mana boleh potong. Did you see anything you can cut? Yes, where? The NC0 you can cut because NC0 is equivalent to 1. 0.25 power 0 is also 1. Okay. Uh, yeah, NC0 is 1. 0.2501. So you left with what? 10 times 0.75 power n, right? Then what about this side? Okay, this side, the NC1 we can actually do. You get n. Yeah, any number C1, you will get back the number. So for example, 3C1 is 3, 5C1 is 5. You can try in your calculator. Any number C1, you get back the original, the atas punya number lah. So NC1 is N. And also 0.25 power 1 is just 0.25, right? Okay, the 0.75 power N minus 1, I cannot use calculator to do it because I don't have the N. But if you look at this and this, they are the same base because they are both base 0.75. It means we can put them on the same side, put them on one side here, and we can do it together. But you have to pina this here first lah. So it becomes what? 0.75 power n minus 1. Okay, this one all darab, 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 darab. So when you pina jadi bahagi divide. So it becomes divide with 0.75 power n like that. But of course the 10 is still here. Okay, and then this one cut already. Okay, so now let's try to do this part. So you can see they are same base, 0.75, 0.75. So when the base is same and you try to divide them, the power have to do what? Have to minus. So bila base sama bahagi, power kena tolak, kena minus. So it becomes 0.75 and then the power will be n minus 1 minus n, which is negative 1 because n minus n cut already. So left with negative 1. So this is the result. But don't forget there is still a 0.25 n times 0.25 here and then there is still 10 here. Okay, but now we can find n. Okay, let's try to tekan this in the calculator. Okay, I'll give you some tips here. 0.275 power negative 1 is actually 1 over 0.75. So you can write this like this: 0.25 over 0.75 equals 10. Okay, understand? Because 0.75 power negative 1 is the same as 1 over 0.75. So if you write this as 1 over 0.75, multiply with 0.25, you is same as this lah. So now you can find n, just pina this whole thing to the other side. So when you pina, the 0.75 duduk bawah means divide hantar jadi times. Okay, so 10 times 0.75 and then this one duduk atas is darab hantar jadi bahagi. So it becomes 10 times 0.75 divide 0.25. So use calculator and press 10 times 0.75 divide 0.25. 30. So that is the answer. Okay, sudah siap soalan A. Okay, now for B, they want to find the variance of the number of wins. This is easy. Just use the variance formula. Okay, I even wrote it down just now, the variance formula, this one. And don't forget the variance symbol. A lot of students, they confuse the variance symbol and the standard deviation symbol. So remember the variance symbol have square one. And then the formula tak ada square root punya. It's just NPQ. So the N is 30, I get it just now. And then the PQ is just 0.25 and 0.75. Okay, use calculator, press, and I get 5.625. Okay, that is the answer. I'm done. Let's continue. Okay, now we are in bahagian B. So this says bahagian ini mengandungi 3 soalan, jawab 2 soalan. Okay, but I will jawab all 3 questions. Okay, yeah, in this video I'll jawab all 3 questions. Okay, because that's how it has always been. All my videos, paper 1 video, Addmaths paper 1 video, all I just do all of it. Okay, let's go. 13a. Diagram 6 shows graph of function fx equals modulus 5 minus 2x. So let's observe the graph. So it's a V-shaped graph. And why is it like that, like a V, like tajam like that? Because modulus, and also this is a linear equation, right? Because the highest power is 1, so it's called linear. So when you try to draw the graph for linear, you get a straight line. Okay, but if there's a modulus, what happens to to this part is you get reflect up lah. That's why you get V shape. Yeah, because when you modulus, the graph below the x-axis will get reflect ke atas. Okay, for the domain -2 to 8, let's double check. So from x -2 to x -8, that's the domain. Okay, understand. Now we do A1. So find the image of -2 and 8. Okay, find image means find fx. Okay, because image means fx. It means the -2 and 8 is the object, or you can say it's the x. Okay, so find image of -2 means what? It means -2 is object and you're trying to find the image. Okay, and object means x lah. So what you do is you can look at the diagram here. You can see there's one point where the x coordinate is -2, right? And you are trying to find the image. It means what you're trying to find now. You're trying to find this. Yeah, you're trying to find this. And when you are finding image of 8, you are actually finding the y coordinate when x equals to 8. You are finding this. Okay, so I already know this point, the x coordinate is 8. This point the x coordinate -2, but the y coordinate I don't know. And how you find it? You just sub the x inside here lah. Just sub the x inside this function. Then you can get the y coordinate already. So how do you do it? F bracket x equals to modulus 5 minus 2. For the x, I'll open bracket. And then for the x, I sub with the -2. Because -2 is the object. And object means x lah. Okay, now you calculate this, you will get modulus. -2 times -2 is positive 4 plus 5 is 9. Oh, have to do times first. You cannot do 5 minus 2 first. If you do 5 minus 2 first, it's wrong. Because you kena buat darab dulu. You have to do the bracket one, the times first. So modulus 9, you end up with positive 9. So there you have it. That's the image of -2 lah, 9. So this the 9. Here's the 9. All right, for the next part, I want to find image of 8. Wait, why got negative here? Okay, I think it's 8 lah. It's not -8. 8, huh? Okay, let's go. F8 equals to modulus 5 minus 2x. And then the x sub with 8. Yeah, because 8 is the object. And you're trying to find the image of that object. So just sub x8. Okay, modulus 2 times 8 first. So you get 16. 5 minus 16, -11. Modulus, you come positive 11. So that means this is 8, 11. And this point right here is 11. Okay. Alright, the question asks for what? Image of -2 and 8. So this is the answer. This is the answer. You don't have to write in coordinate form for them like that. No need, no need. No need. Because the soalan asks for image ma. So image of -2, just write 9 lah. Image of -8 is 11 lah. Just write like that. So just write like that is good enough. Okay, let's do B. I mean A2. Okay, sketch the graph of gx equals 1 minus fx for the domain -2 x8. Okay, for sketching graph question, we need to find points, right? We need to find some points. Okay, let's look at the equation of the graph first. They say gx equals 1 minus fx. Okay, the fx is this one, modulus 5 minus 2x. So I will write down the equation for gx first. So 1 minus fx, which is 1 minus modulus 5 minus 2x lah. Okay. Okay, I will tell you something. This graph later will be this same graph, but you have to reflect because got negative, right? And then the one, you can write it at the back here. So it becomes negative modulus 5 minus 2x plus 1. Okay. Let me explain what this negative here means. This negative here means you have to terbalikkan your graph. So instead of like that, it become like that. Yeah, everything have to terbalik. Okay. And then what the plus 1 here means is like this one have to naik satu. Okay, have to naik satu unit. So it's like something like that lah. Ini lebih kurang saja lah. Okay, and then erase. So later your end result will look something like that. Like something like that. Okay. But of course you need to find out here berapa, here berapa, here berapa. All these coordinate you have to find it lah. You cannot just simply oh just draw like that and then just pass up. Cannot. You need to find out all the important points, like all the x-intercept, the y-intercept, the starting point, the ending point, and then this tajam punya part. Yeah, of course you need to find it, right? Because those are the important points. If you don't find it, you don't get marks. Okay, let me explain a bit the negative and the plus one punya. So you remember in trigonometry, Form 5 chapter 6 trigonometry, you learn how to sketch the graph for sine, cos, tangent, right? And yeah, in that part, you learn this. You learn about what the negative plus one means. When you have negative before, when the negative is before here, it means you have to reflect everything. Reflect everything means the whole thing have to terbalik, right? And then if there's a number plus something or minus at the back here, then it means the whole graph have to move vertically upwards. If positive, if plus, then vertically upward lah. But if minus, then you have to move vertically down. Okay. It means the whole thing have to move up. Okay. That is why I know it will look like this. Even before I draw it, I already know it will look something like this. Okay. But of course, even if you know the shape, you need to know the coordinate also to be able to draw it. Okay. So I'll just draw a table. Okay. Actually, don't want lah. I don't like table actually. Yeah, okay lah, table. Okay lah, can also lah, whatever lah. You draw table also can, don't want also can lah. But sometimes when I'm lazy, I won't do the table one. I will just write the bracket like that. But okay lah, same thing lah. Okay, let's just do the table. Okay, so the table is for you to write the coordinates. Okay, of course you need the first point. Okay, let's write xy here. Okay, you need the first point, which is the this point right here, right? But how do you find it? Okay, you have to ganti the x negative 2 lah. You faham ah? Because you drawing for the domain x between negative 2 and 8 mah. So of course the paling kiri punya point, the first point, yeah, it will be x negative 2. So you ganti negative 2 here. Okay. And I will just do it fast lah. I don't want to do all the working, all this. So negative 2 times negative 2, positive 4, 4 plus 5, 9, modulus 9, 9 also, negative 9 plus 1, negative 8. Okay, done. And then for the next point, I need to find is this right here. This and this, which we call the x-intercept, because that is important, right? And also the y-intercept also important. Okay. Actually, I'm not even sure whether the y-intercept is here or not. Okay, but it's okay. Let's find the x-intercept, y-intercept. It means we have to ganti x0 and the y0 lah. But as you can see, there's two x-intercept. So later when you sub y0, there will be two answers here. Eh? Okay, let's go. I sub x0. Okay, if x is 0, 0 times 2, 0. 5 minus 0, 5. Modulus 5, 5. And then negative 5 plus 1, negative 4. So like that. Okay, now for y equals 0. Okay, this one is a bit... okay, this one, for this, I will write down the working lah. Because this one it's a bit hard to do it in your head. So I will just do it the working here. So this one cannot sub x0, I have to sub y0. It means instead of putting x0, instead of changing the x to 0, you have to take the whole thing equals 0. So negative modulus 5 minus 2x, top modulus plus 1, the whole thing equals 0 like that. And you're trying to find x. So pindah 1 dulu lah. Eh, okay. Okay lah, can lah. Pindah 1 dulu, okay. And then negative model 5 minus 2x. And then negative, now negative go. So negative pindah, so jadi, okay, when you pindah negative, this one just tukar tanda, jadi 1. Okay, how to find x? Okay, pindah modulus. Okay, when you pindah modulus, got two answer. Satu plus, satu minus, eh. So it becomes 5 minus 2x equals 1. And then another one is 5 minus 2x equals negative 1. Patutlah saya cakap ada dua pintasan x. Remember, I told you just now, got two x-intercept, right? See, got two answers. So, okay, first one, negative 2x equals 1 minus 5, negative 4, and then negative 4 divide negative 2 is positive 2. This one is negative 2x equals negative 1 minus 5, negative 6, and then x equals to 3. So this is 2 and 3. Nice. Let's continue. Okay, now we have the first point. We have the what happened? What happened? Oh, sorry. Okay, we have this point. We have the x-intercept. We have the 2x-intercept, which is 2, 3, and we also have the y-intercept. Okay, I think this point I should find it also. Yeah, it's like quite important also the tajam point, and also don't forget the final point. So there's one point is to find the last one lah. Okay, the last point, the x will be 8. Okay, it's already mentioned in the domain. But for this, the tajam point, it will be where? Okay, I'll tell you now. The tajam point, the x coordinate will be at 502, because you remember just now when I do the negative, I reflect the whole thing down like that, and then I move up 1 unit. But when I move up, do you think the x coordinate will change? No, it will still be at 502. But the y coordinate, I don't know what already. Uh, because you already reflect and then plus 1 already. So it has to be like, I have to sub x 502 lah. Wait, actually I know. Actually I know the y coordinate. It will be 1. This will be 1. Like here will be 1. Okay. Let me tell you how I know. Because this thing I reflect ma. I reflect like that ma. And then so this is the tajam now, right? Imagine if you plus 1. What happens to the y coordinate here? From y equals 0 become y equals 1 lah. Okay. But of course, if you don't believe me, you can try to sub. You can try to sub inside and you will get 1. So that's what I will do now. So the 502 sub inside here. So imagine this thing become 502. What happened? The 2 cut already. And then 5 minus 5 becomes 0. Modulus 0, 0 also. Negative 0, 0 also. 0 plus 1, 1. See, you get 1. So that means this is 1. Now for the last part is 8. Okay, 8. 8 times 2, 16. So 5 minus 16, you press, you get negative 11. And then modulus negative 11 is just positive 11. But there's another negative outside, so it's like negative 11 plus 1, so negative 10. Okay. Alright, I think I'm done with all the important points. I have the starting point, the ending point, the x-intercept, the y-intercept, and the tajam. So now I can do the graph. So now I will draw the graph now, the sketch, the graph. Okay, first is the y-axis. Okay, when you draw the y-axis, you need to know where you should draw it, right? So I always teach my student like this. I said when you draw the y-axis, you look at the x value, right? So look at the x value now. You have the smallest number, negative 2, the largest number, 8. It means you need more space on the right side of the y-axis. Because the paling kanan you guna sampai 8, but the left side you only use I think -2. So my y-axis I can draw like somewhere like that. Okay, more space here. Here also need some like a little bit space. Okay, and then now I will start with the y highest value here. So for the y-axis you can see paling besar sini apa? Okay, the smallest value is -10, but the highest is 1, right? So I think I can go how? Okay, of course you can do like that: 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5 until -10. But that's too much. That's too much. I don't like it. I will do like that. I will use the scale like that. I will go 2 like that, and then I will go 0, and then I will go -2. Okay, that's too. Okay, I want to make sure distance is like around the same here. Oh, maybe a bit more down. Okay, you don't have to measure exactly, but make sure it's like balanced also. Huh? Okay, -2, and then -4, -6, -8, -10. This is the scale that I choose to use. Okay, because I don't like my graph to have a lot of number. It will look very messy one. Okay? And let me tell you why I choose to go like that is because it will get there faster lah. Instead of going -1, -2, -3 lah, it's too slow already. Okay. So later for the 1 year, you just go middle lah. Because later you need the y equals 1, right? So that one later you can just go middle. Okay, now for the x-axis. Okay, I told you already, x-axis, the right side has to be longer, right? Why have to be longer? Because you use until 8. Okay, but the left side you only use until -2. So what I'll do, okay, I will not go, okay, you want to do like that, okay, -1, -2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I told you already, I don't like my axis to have a lot of numbers. I like to keep it simple. And also it's a sketch question. So yeah, so I don't like to have a lot of stuff here. So I'll just go like that. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then here I just go -2. Yeah, it looks much more better, right? There's not too much number. Yeah, easy to how to say, nice to look at. Okay, now we can plot the point: -2, -8. That's the first point right there. 0, -4. That's the point right here. 2, 0 is here. 3, 0 is another x-intercept. But sir, how? Yeah, just go 2, 4 middle lah. Here lah, 3, 3, 0 mah. So here lah. So 2, 4 exactly middle. Okay, 5 over 2, 1. Okay, 5 over 2, if you press calculator, is 2.5. Okay, so where's 2.5? Okay, this is 3, right? So 2.5 will be 2, 3, somewhere in between like that. So I will just tambah satu line myself here, and then plot at 1, which is in between 0 and. So that is the tajam, the tajam punya part. And then 8, -10 is just somewhere here. Okay. Remember, this is a sketch question. Okay. So you don't need the graph paper for this. Okay. Yeah, just do it in the space provided. Okay, now just use your ruler, join all the points, and yeah, it will be a straight line, and it will look like a V lah, something like that. Okay, as you can see, my graph never touched the what? Yeah, it's like if I join like that, then it doesn't touch here already, right? But it doesn't look nice. So what I'll do, try to adjust a bit lah. Okay, so this is 3, right? And then this is the 2.5. Can already lah. Sudah siap. Okay. Okay, so okay, I think it's better I write the 502 here. Okay. Okay, but the rest no need to write. Like here, no need to write. Okay. The reason why I write here is because there's some points here, right? Okay, so this is the tajam part lah. The 502, 1 is here. Okay, the 1 also I write. 521, and then this one is 20, 30, and then 8, -10, 8, -10, and then this one is -2, -8. Yeah, I'm done. So that is the answer. And you can see it's exactly the same with how I predicted it. So just now I predict it will look like this, right? Yeah, it looks like exactly like this. Okay, yeah, like that. Okay, it's a V-shaped tajam, but there's like a bit of the graph go over the get atas gate because you got +1. That's why the whole graph move up 1 unit. Okay, now I think I have to write the equation gx. What's the equation? 1 minus fx ataupun 1 minus modulus 5 minus 2x. All right, that's all. How many marks for this? 4 marks. Okay lah, I'll take it. So yeah, that's all. Oh, got another 4 marks. I'm not done. Ada lagi B Oh yeah, I forgot this bahagian B. So it's a bit longer. Let's go. Given that HKX is 2x minus 9 and HX equals 4 over x plus 2, x cannot equals negative 2. So this is the undefined case for this function. Determine the function Kx. Okay, this is a very famous question in Form 4 Chapter 1 function. Okay. So Form 4 Chapter 1, you learn about this. Right? You learn about this. Okay. You should know about this. You should know about this. So this type of question, you recognize it very quickly one. They will give you a composite function and give you a single function and try to ask you to cari balik the single function. Okay, and you need to be aware of this type of question, and you need to make sure you know both the two method. Okay, there's two possibility or two method to do this. Okay, so remember when you see they give you two a composite function and a single function and try to ask you to cari balik the other single function, you need to know there's two method. Okay, one method, why got two method is because sometimes when you have the inside function, you will do it, you have to let. Kalau ada dalam, you have the inside function, you have to let. But if you don't have the inside function, then you don't need to let. Okay. It's like two different method. Okay. So I'll show you how I do this question. So you can see they give us a composite function hkx. Then this one is the single function hx, and then want to find kx. Okay, you need to start with the composite function. Yeah, you need to start with the composite. So let's write down the composite. H big bracket kx equals to 2x minus 9. And you need to ask yourself whether you have the inside function or not, which is the kx. Kalau ada dalam, kena let. Kalau tak ada dalam, tak payah let. Very easy to remember, right? If dalam ada, kena let. Dalam tak ada, tak payah let. And kalau dalam ada, it will be a bit harder one because you have to let. The method is a bit harder, a bit like a bit more work to do lah. More work to do. Kalau dalam ada. So tell me now, KX, is it given or don't have? Don't have. Because KX is what you're trying to find here. Okay? So you dalam ada ke tak ada? Tak ada. So kalau dalam tak ada means kena let or tak payah let? Tak payah let because dalam tak ada mah. So tak payah let. Then tak payah let how? Okay, tak payah let then it will be the easy way. The easier way. Yang tak payah let punya. So let me tell you how you do it. Kalau dalam tak ada, you tengok luar. Okay, you tengok luar. Because kalau dalam tak ada, luar mesti ada. If the inside function don't have, means the outside function mesti have one. Takkanlah dua-dua pun tak ada. Okay, it's not possible if both also don't have. If both also don't have, then no need to do already. So yeah, luar mesti ada. As you can see, the function h is given here, right? So what you do is you will sub the kx inside the function hx punya x. I repeat, kx ni awak kena ganti dalam function hx punya x. So it becomes 4 over x plus 2, but the hx punya x kena ganti with kx. Because this is h bracket x. This is h bracket kx. So the x has to replace with kx. That's why this x replaced with kx. And then equals to 2x minus 9. And now you just have to pindah, then you get the kx already. Okay. But let's assume that the dalam ada. Because this one is the case yang dalam tak ada. So tak payah let, right? So let's assume if this is the case yang dalam ada. That one, kalau dalam ada, you tak boleh tengok luar. Kalau dalam ada, you tak boleh tengok luar. Kalau dalam ada, you are forced to write down, to sub in the inside function. Because you ada mah. So you terpaksa tulis dah. And after you tulis, you have to let the whole thing inside the bracket equals to y. And then find x. And then continue from there. They one have to let. And you need to make sure you know that method also. If you want to jawab SPM, you want to jawab trial, you need to know that. Okay. But anyways, let's come back here. So I'm trying to find kx here. So how? I need to pindah a bit. So first thing first, I will pindah the. Wait. Why it looks a bit weird? Betul lah. So how do you find it is okay. I think first thing first, I will take this and this. I will just tukar tempat because I'm trying to find KX, but my KX duduk bawah, so I don't like it. I want it to be like duduk atas. So what I can do is the whole thing here I pindah sini jadi darab because this one whole thing duduk bawah means bahagi hantar jadi darab, and then the 2x minus 1 move back down jadi bahagi. So basically the two switch place lah. So switch place. So it becomes 4 over 2x minus 9. And then this whole thing duduk atas kx plus 2. But I only want kx. So the plus 2 I pindah jadi minus 2. So 4 over 2x minus 9 minus 2 like that. Okay. The minus 2 you cannot straight away write like that. Minus 2 like that. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay. If you want to write atas, the minus 2, if you want to write atas here, can. But you have to times with 2x minus 9 first. Because you want the denominator to be same like that. Because both the two term have the same denominator, then baru boleh atas tolak atas. So it becomes 4 minus 2, but you have to times with 2x minus 9 first, like that. Okay, now let's times. Cannot do 4 minus 2 first because you have to do times first. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4x. Negative 2 and negative 9 positive 18 over 2x minus 9 and then kx. Okay, let's proceed here. Okay, 4 plus 18 is 22 minus 4x over 2x minus 9. Okay, I can factorize out the 2 here, but I don't think I will do it because it doesn't help. Because you can't because bawah tak boleh factorize out 2 also. And yeah, I don't think you can simplify already. So I think this is the final answer. Yeah, this is the answer for kx. And this is the answer in the simplest form. 22 minus 4x over 2x minus 9. But wait, there's undefined case. Because when your function has x at the bottom, at the denominator, it means ada wujud undefined case. Undefined case is the case yang akan membuatkan jawapan ni tak apa yang akan membuatkan fungsi ni tak ada jawapan lah. So what's the undefined case? It will be 9 over 2. Okay, because 2x minus 9 cannot equal 0, so x cannot equals negative 9 hantar jadi 9 times 2 over 2. Yeah. Okay, but this one you don't have to show them. Yeah, you don't have to show them. Yeah, just yeah. But I'm explaining it to you how it come from lah. So remember, kalau bawa ada x, remember to write the undefined case. Okay. Yeah, because you can't divide by 0. So the whole thing down here cannot equal 0. So x cannot equals 9 over 2. Okay, that's all. Hope you understand. Alright, let's move on. 14. Okay, we almost finished already. Let's go, let's go. Selesaikan apa? Solve. Okay, the first. Okay, this one very obvious lah. From 4 chapter 4. Okay, how come I know so fast? Because I see log. I see something, power something. Yeah, I know already. This one is index, cert, and logarithm chapter. Okay, first question. Let's go. 2 power 2x minus 1 minus 9 bracket 2 power x minus 2 plus 1 equals 0. This is clearly an indices question. And if it's an indices question, I always tell student one thing. Check the base first. Make sure it's same base. And if it's not same base, try to make it same base. But if cannot make it same base, then it's fine lah. Then no need. But if you can make it same base, try to make it same base. Okay, I can see that this is 2 power 2x minus 1, and I cannot change this to any smaller base already. So I'll just write it here. Okay, 9 I can change to a smaller base, which is base 3, but I don't think it helps because base 3 is not same with the other base here. So I'll leave it also. And then 2 power x minus 2, leave it also. And then plus 1, yeah, the one cannot do anything. So like that, right? And what I will do now is I will separate everything. Okay, remember this. For indices question, there's two types. First type of question is the times divide question. Okay, and then another type is the plus minus question. Okay, wait, actually I shouldn't mention this. I should mention the law of indices first. So let's mention about the formula first. Law of indices. So law of indices, you have first one, the paling basic, a power m times a power n is a power m plus n. And then a power m divided by a power n will be a power m minus n. And then a power m bracket n is a power mn. Okay, actually there's a few more, but yeah, we don't need to go into details. I just want these two only, right? So when you have two same base, okay, when you have two terms, they are same base, and you want to darab, the power you can plus like that. Same with the divide. So if one day the indices question is times divide, and if it's already same base, you can just apply this formula, right? But if it's a plus minus, then we have a problem. Because plus minus, when you have a power m plus a power n like that, you can't use this formula. You cannot use this formula. Okay? You don't tell me like, oh, a power m times n. No, 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 no. Tak ada formula macam ni. Tak ada. Tak wujud. This formula is like, tak ada macam ni. Okay? So, if it's a plus minus question, what you have to do instead, you have to do it in reverse. You are still using the same formula, but you are doing it in reverse. It means you are basically, instead of combining them into one, you are actually separating them so that it becomes like, it means you do it from the this like this to like this. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Yeah. So you can see this is a plus minus question, right? You can see there's a plus minus, right? And there's three terms. Okay. And in between them is a plus minus. So that is why I try to separate them. Okay. And doing it in reverse. So what it means. So you realize or not? The a power m minus. Okay. Let's write down this formula here. So the formula I write is a power m times a power n equals to a power m plus n, right? And do you realize this one and this one is the same? You see, the a is the 2, the m is the 2x, the n is the negative 1. So when you change it back to here, it will become 2 power 2x times with 2 power negative 1 lah. Okay, it's the same formula but doing it in reverse. So the a is 2, the m is the 2x, the n is the negative 1. So when you change it back to this form, it becomes like that. Okay, and why I have to do it like that? Because it's a plus minus question. When it's a plus minus, you memang do it in reverse one. If it's times divide, you do it like that. You do it like the other way. Okay, let's continue. Minus 9. Okay, this one also you do the same thing. 2 power x minus 2. It's the same with this. The a is the 2, the m is the x, n is negative 2. But you want to change it back like this, so it becomes what it becomes what, I don't know. Yeah, it becomes 2 power x times with a power n, so times with 2 power negative 2, like that. Okay, and then plus 1 equals 0. Okay, I know some student will say like, hey, sir, what if I write 2 power x divide 2 power 2? Okay, actually can also lah, but the way I teach my student, I always tell them just use times. Yeah, just use times. Yeah. If you use the second one, this one, can also. Okay, because the power is minus, right? Yeah, can also lah. It's the same lah. You get the same thing. Okay, let's continue here. So for the plus minus question, after you separate everything, I always tell my students kena tengok ada berapa rumah. You have to tengok check ada berapa rumah. It means berapa term, berapa terms. So you can see ada tiga term here. This is the first term, this is the second term, this is the third term. Okay. You don't tell me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 term. No, 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 no. You have to tengok the plus minus. So the plus minus sign, that is the wall that separate the rumah. So plus minus, this is the wall. This one plus minus, this is the wall. So there's three terms. Okay, means ada tiga rumah. So in the first rumah, what you kita tengok dulu first rumah ada apa lah. So we have 2 power 2x and 2 power negative 1. Okay, yang mana boleh buat, you buat dulu. So yang mana boleh buat 2 power negative 1. Okay, 2 power negative 1 is 1 over 2, right? Okay, yang ni tak boleh buat. So yang tak boleh buat, you just put it inside the bracket. You just put it inside the bracket. Yang tak boleh buat, you put it inside the bracket. Okay. Okay, now let's go to the second rumah. Minus. Okay, the second rumah. Yang mana boleh buat, you buat je. So the 2 power x tak boleh buat. Why I cakap macam tu? Because you don't know the x. You don't have x, how you supposed to do? You use calculator tekan also 2 power x. You can't get it because you don't know the x. But 2 power negative 2, that one you can do. 2 power negative 2 is 1 over 4. It's not negative 4, guys. Come on. 2 power 2 is 4, but 2 power negative 2 is negative 4. No, no, no. 2 power negative 2 is not negative 4. It's 1 over 4. But you multiply with 9, so it becomes 4 over 9. And then the 2 power x tak boleh buat. Since tak boleh buat, we letak dalam bracket. And then plus 1 equals to 0. Okay. Okay, now that you reach here, you check whether the bracket same or not. If they are the same, then you can let the bracket equals to a. Okay, so you can see this bracket is 2 power x, this is 2 power 2x. They are not exactly the same, but they are almost the same. Okay, and your job now is to make them the same. You want them to be the same. Okay, you want it to be same, because if it's same, then only I can let the whole thing becomes a. Okay, the whole thing here becomes a. So how do you make it same? Is you just take the 2 and you tendang dia keluar. You kick out the 2 keluar macam tu. Okay, and why you can buat macam tu? Because of this law. When you have a power n, the mn you have to times them together. So imagine if I write it like this: a power n power m. Isn't it the same? Because you will just times them together, so you just end up getting same, right? So now come back here. If I the 2 power 2x, I want to write 2 power x power 2 or 2 power 2 power x. This one all same, right? But why I must write like that? Why I must write 2 power x power 2? Because I want it to be same with this, so that later the next step I can change the 2 power x temporarily change to a. Let 2 power x equals a. Okay, minus 509, 409, and then 2 power x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, now the bracket here same already. I will let the 2 power x equals to a. So now the equation become 1 over 2 a square minus 4 over 9a plus 1 equals 0. And now I'll try to find a lah. But after you find your a, you have to change your a back to the 2 power x and then solve for x. Because this the soalan never asked you to find a, you need to find x. Eh? Okay, so this is a quadratic equation. So how do you find a? Okay, you can use your calculator to factorize. But before you do that, let's get rid of the fraction first. So how do you hilangkan the fraction? You samakan the denominator. Hey, wait, this one is 4 over 9 or 9 over 4? Oh my god, this one is 9 over 4. I made a mistake. Yeah, because 2 power negative 2 is 1 over 4, right? 1 over 4 times 9 should be 9 over 4. Sorry. Careless. Okay, so this one also have to betulkan. Okay, but the rest is correct. Yeah, just the one I silap tulis 4 over 9. Okay, so now I want to factorize, but I said get rid of the fraction first. So how do you get rid of fraction? You make sure the all the denominator same value. Okay, this one over 2 over 4, this one nothing over 1. So how to make it same? Times 2 times 2, so that it becomes 4. This one is already 4, so just leave it. This one times 4 times 4. So now what's your new equation? 2a square minus 9a plus 4 equals 0. And then the over 4 no need to write already. Yeah, because the other side is 0 ma. So even if you write it also, you pin yeah, 0 times 4, 0 also. Okay, now it's time to factorize. Okay, let's tekan the calculator. Hopefully they give me a good looking answer. Good looking answer means answer yang boleh tukar jadi fraction lah. So let's tekan, wait, how to tekan? Wait, I know how to tekan, but suddenly I don't know why my brain lag already. Okay, I get it now. So what's the A? 2, B negative 9, C is 4. So make sure you all know how to tekan. If you don't know how to tekan, it's very hard to do the exam later. Okay, it's 4 and 1 over 2. So I'll just kosong satu baris. A equals 4, A equals 1 over 2. Don't write X. I know your calculator write X, but you cannot write X. You have to write A. Because this one is A. Okay, so the part okay, you have to tulis balik the baris atas here, and then for the first bracket you write A, and then the 4 you move it back, so it becomes minus 4, and then this one also same thing, you move it back, but the divide 2 when you move it back become times 2, and then the 1 here move here become minus 1, right? Okay, now you got your A already, but we are trying to find X, and don't forget just now I temporarily changed the 2 power X to A, right? So now you already get your A. Your A have to change back 2 power x equals 4. 2 power x equals 1 over 2. And now you solve for x. And how to do that? You try to make both sides same base. If they are both sides same base, then you can compare. Because if both sides same base, then the power automatically same also. So can we make them same base? Yes, because 4 can change to 2 power 2. Kenapa saya buat macam tu? Why I do like that? So that they are same base both sides. If they are same base both sides, then the power automatic also same. So x equals to 2 lah. And I will try to do the same thing for this. 2 power x equals to 1 over 2. Okay, 1 over 2 is actually 2 power what? 2 power negative 1. Yeah, because 2 power 1 is 2. And then 2 power negative 1 is 1 over 2 lah. And then after you reach here, you can see they are both sides same base already, base 2, base 2. So the power will be same also. It means you just compare lah, you just compare. And when you compare the two same already, then the power will be automatic same. So the soalan asks us to solve, and that's the answer. X equals 2, x equals negative 1. Okay, I don't think you can reject one of the answer. Yeah, and I don't think you should reject because the x, yeah, it can be negative. X is the power, right? Who says the power cannot negative? Can also. Yeah, so yeah, you don't reject. Okay, both answer accepted. Okay, you have two answers. All right, I'm done with that. Now let's go to the question 2. Okay, this is a logarithm question clearly. Okay, let's study the question now. Log 4 base x equals to 2 plus 4 log 2 base 4. Okay, I see a problem already. It's not same base. Remember, when you're doing indices or log question, you will always look at the base. And if it's not same base, you have to stop and try to make it same base. If it's not same base, yeah, it's really difficult to continue. So when you're doing log, same thing, check the base also. So this base x, this is base 4, and this one don't have log. Okay. So how? Of course, I can change base, but change to which base? Let me think. Okay. This is base x, right? And this is base 4, right? So I don't think I will pindah this over here. Because if I pindah this over here, one is base x, one is base 4. Yeah, that doesn't help, right? Oh, wait, I see something lah. Actually, this one can do, right? Okay, okay, okay. I see. Okay, the log x base 4, I leave it. The 2, I leave it. But wait, this one, you can just do it. Yeah, you can just do this. Eh? So how you do it is like that. The 4, you can actually move it up like that. So it becomes log 4 and then 2 power 4, which is 16. So it end up with 2 plus log 4 and then 2 power 4 is 16. And then what is log 16 base 4? It's 2. Yeah, it's 2. Reason is because uh the 16 you can change to 4 power 2. And then when you change to 4 power 2, the 2 you can bring it to the front. So it becomes 2 here. And then log 4 4 and log 4 4 you can cut jadi 1. Okay, that's why you don't need to write this because 2 times 1 is 2 like that. Okay, and then here is log x4, log x4, log base x4. Okay, okay, understand this part. Okay, I explain a bit lah. So, what I realized here is like I can just do this and get a number from here. So I pindah the 4 atas jadi power and then 2 power 4 is 16. And kenapa 16 I change to 4 power 2? Because when I change to base 4, the 4 here and the 4 here is same. That means we can cut jadi 1. That is why I try to make the 16 4 power 2. Uh, then because the log 4 4 is equals to 1. Okay, that's why. Okay, now I end up with log x4 equals to 4. So I realize I don't even need to change base, right? Because you end up here, then you just do anti-log. Okay, you remember what's anti-log? When you have log something, base something equals to something, you do anti-log, you kick this over here, and then this whole thing becomes the number base. The log base, when you pindah, it becomes the number base, and then this triangle becomes the power, like that. So you just do the anti-log. So for this x pergi sana, jadi number base, and then this 4 become the power. So now to find x, you just pindah the 4, dia akan jadi punca kuasa 4. Okay, the fourth root of 4. So how to tekan this? Tekan 4 and then shift the power button and then 4. Okay, my calculator give me 1.414. So let's write 4 significant figure here. So that is the answer. Okay, sudah siap. The soalan asked me to find x, right? So yeah, that's the answer. Oh, 6 marks. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, done. Okay, let's do B. Solve the equation of 5 plus 4. Okay, this is the third question. Yeah. Also same from 4 chapter 4. Okay, 5 plus 4 square root equals to 9 plus 8 square root 2. They say solve, right? So I'm assuming find the unknown. And there's only one unknown here. So the K lah. Find K. Okay, write the answer in the form of A plus B square root 2 with A and B are integers. So I already know how my final answer look like. My final answer will look like this. K equals something plus something square root 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find K, right? And the answer would look like this, where A and B are integers. Integers means no decimal, no fraction, tak ada apa pecahan macam tu lah. So the A and B would be a number lah. Maybe it's like 8 and 7 or 5 and 3, something like that. So now my job is to find K. Okay. I will just start from this equation. And then how do you find K? Pindah the 5 and then pindah the 4 and then pindah the square root lah. Oh my god, so simple. So because you want to make the k single ma. So if you want the k to be single, like you just have to pindah everything to the other side. So 5 pergi sana. So 9 minus 5 is 4 like that. And then plus 8 square root 2. Right? And then move the 4 over now. So the 4 is times. Right? It's times now. So when you move there, become divide. Okay, 4 divided 4 is 1. And then the second term also divide by 4, you end up with 2 square root 2. Because 8 divided 4 is 2, right? Okay, now you can find k. Just square root the whole, I mean the square root move there becomes square, right? So just square the whole thing here. 1 plus 2 square root 2 just square. Okay, please don't do like that. Please don't go and take this one square, you get 1, and then this one square, you get 4 times 2 like that. This is wrong. This is wrong. That's not how you expand. Okay, when you expand, you have to do it like this. You have first have to take 1 square, which is 1, and then you have to take 1 times 2 square root 2 times 2. That's the correct way. So 1 times 2 square root 2 is 2 square root 2, and then times 2. So you end up getting 4 square root 2 like that. Ini baru betul. And then the last step, baru you ambil 2 square root 2 square. Which means you take 2 square and then square root 2 square. Okay, 2 square is 4. Square root 2 square, the square root square just cancel, you left with this. So your k will come out already. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, 9 plus 4 square root 2. And this is your answer. And I remember they mentioned, they said has write your answer in this form, right? So yeah, it's already in this form. A plus B square root 2, 9 plus 4 square root 2. And you can see your A and B is actually 9 and 4. Okay. But you don't have to write this like A equals 9, B equals 4. No need, no need, no need, no need. Unless they say find A and B lah. But they never say that. They just say write the answer in this form. So you just stop at this form can already. But if they say find A and B, then you have to write one more baris and write A equals 9, B equals 4. Okay. Okay, let's continue. Okay, finally we are at the last question number 15. Okay, this one I tengok I nampak ada sin cos tan I know already for 5 chapter 6. The trigonometry chapter. Let's go. Soalan A. Okay, I'll do it up here for the A question. Okay, let's read. It is given that the cos alpha equals to P, where alpha is an acute angle, express cosec alpha in terms of P. All right, you need to know something. For trigonometry question, there's a few types of question that will come out. The first type is this one, where they ask you to find something angle theta, something angle. Like let's say they want to find sine theta or cos theta or tangent or cosec theta like that, right? Another type of question is they will ask you to find theta. Okay, if they want to find theta means whatever trigo in front you have to pindah. You have to kind of shift sine, shift cos, shift tangent, and for okay, I'll just write it. I'll just write it. So there's four types of question they might ask. The first type is they might ask you to find something theta, and for this you have to draw. Yeah, you have to draw. You have to draw out the quadrant and then make sure you locate the right angle triangle. The second type is they want to find theta, and for this type of question you have to tekan the shift sine, shift cos, shift tangent, find out the reference angle, and then check the quadrant. Yang tu, and then if and then there's like normal case and special case for this. Okay, special case is when your sine cos equals to when your sine cos theta equals to 0, 1 or negative 1. Uh, and then ataupun when your tangent theta equals 0. Okay, and for the special case you can't use the normal way to do it. You can't use the calculator. You have to memorize, right? Okay, the third one is the graph question. No, yeah, graph question. This one they will ask you to sketch graph. Usually they ask this in paper 2. Usually they ask this in paper 2. And then the last part is the proof question lah. And we can see from here already, the A is obviously the one yang suruh cari something theta. So that's the first type of question. So later I need to draw. And then for B, that's the proving question, which is this one lah, the proof question lah. Okay, so now finished with the introduction already. Now it's time to get A plus. So yeah, now it's time to solve jawab the soalan already. So cos alpha equals P. Try to find this. Okay, I told you already. Kena lukis. So I will draw a cross. Okay. But sir, but teacher, the soalan never asked me to draw. You draw. You need to draw also. That's the part that student always forget. Okay, just because okay, I know the soalan tak suruh lukis, but you cannot lukis. If you tak lukis, you can't find it. Yeah, you can find because cosec is one over sine, and this one is cos. Hey bro, how you find one over sine when they give you cos? Okay, so what you have to do is you have to locate the triangle, label this information, and then use Pythagoras theorem to find the remaining side, and then only you do the cosec. That's how you do it. Okay, after you draw the cross, you need to determine which quadrant is the angle. So they already say alpha is an acute. So yeah, I don't need to think much. So just put at the first quadrant like that. This will be the hypotenuse line. And remember, the always tarik to x-axis. Always tarik to x-axis to form the right angle. Always, tak pernah jangan tarik y, no. So where's your angle? Here, alpha. That's your angle. And your angle is already inside the right angle triangle and it's already quadrant 1. So you don't have to find the reference angle anymore. Because sometimes your angle is not acute angle. Maybe it's like quadrant 2 or quadrant 3, quadrant 4. Then you might need to find the reference angle. Like if it's quadrant 2, maybe you have to take 180 minus and then use the reference angle to label the information. But for this one, no need. It's already in quadrant 1 already. So cos alpha is P over 1. So you remember the formula SOHCAHTO. SOHCAHTO. So cos is CAH. So the formula is adjacent of hypotenuse. So cos alpha is equals to P. So P nothing bawah means P over 1. So the adjacent is actually P and then the hypotenuse is 1. So I will go label the AH now. Alright, the angle is here. Depan angle kita panggil O, depan 90 kita panggil H. The last one is A. So take your eraser, padam A tulis P, padam H tulis 1. So A jadi small p, H jadi 1. Okay. Okay. So ini this one A, right? So small p and then H is 1. And find the remaining side now. Okay. I don't care if the soalan never ask you to do it. You have to do it also. If you don't do it later, you can't find the cosec alpha. Believe me. So now find this using Pythagoras. Square root bracket square bracket square. Sini tulis 1, sini tulis p. Okay, plus or minus? Minus, because you are not finding the hypotenuse. You will only plus if you are finding the longer side, which is the hypotenuse. This one is this line is not the longer side. It's not the hypotenuse. So minus, so dia akan jadi square root 1 square is 1 minus p square. Alright, done. That's the apa? That's the drawing lah. Okay, now we can go to the question. Sekarang baru kita tengok apa dia mau. Find cosec alpha in terms of p. So now we can try to find the cosec alpha. Okay, first you need to know cosec is 1 over sine. Okay, look at the third alphabet. If the third alphabet is s, 1 over sine. Okay, if let's say it's sec, the third alphabet is c ma, so 1 over cos. If it's cot, look at the third alphabet is t, so 1 over tangent. Okay, that's how I teach my student to remember lah. Okay, s, so 1 over sine alpha. And for the sine alpha, that's when the diagram comes into play. That's when the diagram become useful already. The drawing, I mean, the drawing become useful already. So sine alpha, go to the diagram and look at your alpha now. It's already in quadrant 1 and it's already nicely inside the right angle, right? Sometimes it will be outside one. When the alpha is quadrant 2, sometimes it's outside one. That one you have to use reference angle lah. But this one no need already. It's already like quadrant 1 day. So straight away just do the sine. Okay, what's the formula? So. Sine is SOHCAHTOA. Sine is so opposite over hypotenuse. So what is the opposite? So the angle opposite is square root 1 minus p square. So that one you write atas over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse is the 1 lah. So I'll just write 1 here. But always double check whether it's positive or negative. Sometimes you have to put negative here. But for this case, it will be positive because the alpha, the angle is first quadrant. First quadrant, all positive. Okay. But sometimes if your angle is maybe outside the right angle, maybe it's like second quadrant or third quadrant, fourth quadrant, then there are cases where you have to put the negative one. That's why I always remind students to check. Okay, but for this question no need lah. Okay, what is 1 divide square root 1 minus p square over 1? You will just get 1, just 1 over square root 1 minus p square lah. Done lah, that's the answer lah. Okay, okay, sudah siap. Let's continue. Okay, B is a proving question. Proof punya soalan. So for proof punya soalan, you need to use, you might end up using the basic identity formula or the double angle formula or the addition angle formula or the half angle formula. Okay, those are the formula that you belajar lah. Okay, in the trigonometry chapter from 5 chapter 6. Okay, let's study the question first. 1 plus cos x over sin x plus sin x over 1 plus 1 equals 2 cosec x. Okay, when you're doing proving question, you already know the answer already. This is the question, this is the answer. Okay, but you want to prove them, you want to show them step by step how to get there. Okay, so you can choose whether you want to start with the left hand side boleh juga, or you want to start from the right hand side can also. You can choose. But I always tell my students, I always teach my students, I always tell them, always start with the more complicated punya side. More complicated punya side, it will be better. Okay, it's better to start with the more complicated side. So tell me, left hand side, right hand side, which side looks more complicated? The left hand side. And why is it better to start with the more complicated side? Because when you start with the more complicated side, there's more things you can change, more things you can do. Imagine if you start from this side, what you can do? You can only change the cosec to 1 over sine, and that's all. What else? What other thing you can do? That's it. That's it. That's all. So it's very hard to change from right hand side to left hand side because the right hand side is not that complicated. It's not as complicated. Okay, but if you start from left hand side, it will be much more easy because it's much more complicated and there's more things you can do here. You can combine jadi single fraction, and then after you combine single fraction, maybe there's like some, maybe you can apply some basic identity formula, I don't know. So I will start with the left hand side. So what I will do here, I will write down LHS, which is left hand side, and then I will write dot dot, and then I'll write the whole left hand side, 1 plus cos x over sine x plus sine x over 1 plus cos x. So if I start from left hand side, That means the right hand side will be my last answer ataupun the last baris. Okay, so I'm trying to prove that this left hand side. Okay, so later I will tukar, change, and I'll try my best to change until this whole thing become the 2 cosec x. That's when I sudah berjaya proof. That's when I sudah berjaya proof lah. Okay, okay. Even though I start from left hand side, but my eyes is looking at the right hand side also because this is my goal. This is what I want. So I'm looking at it also. So 2 cosec x, I'm aware of it. It's actually 2 over sine x, right? So if I can't change to 2 cosec x, I can change to 2 over sine x also because they are practically the same thing. Okay, because cosec is 1 over sine and then times 2 is the same. Okay, so now this is my goal. Okay, so I'm doing it from left hand side, but I'm looking at the goal also at the same time. So I can see this is very complicated now. So what I will do now is I try to make it into a single fraction. Yeah, because I want it to be like a bit more simple. Because if I look at the one I want now, it's just a single fraction. Okay, dia macam satu pecahan macam tu saja. But now it's like two pecahan. So the first step I will do now is try to combine them into single fraction. But how to combine? You cannot just take atas tambah atas, bawah tambah bawah. Tak boleh. Ayo, siapa aja macam mana? Mana boleh? If this one is darab, then boleh lah. Atas darab atas, bawah darab bawah. Tapi kalau tambah tak boleh. Kalau tambah, you have to make sure the denominator is same. Then baru boleh ambil atas tambah atas. So the denominator bawah sini kena sama. Tapi sekarang tak sama. So macam mana samakan? Okay, the sine x, you have to multiply with the 1 plus cos x. So that means the atas here, 1 plus cos x, you have to multiply that with the 1 plus cos x. Wait, so it becomes 1 plus cos x times 1 plus cos x, which is 1 plus cos x square lah. Uh-huh. And then plus with, okay, the sine x, you have to multiply with sine x. Yeah, because the bawah have to be same. So it's like yang ini darab ni macam tu. So sin x times sin x becomes sin square x. Don't write sin x square. When you take sin x times sin x, I know it's sin x square, but the correct way to write it, okay. So when you do sin x times sin x, this is not the correct way to write it. Okay. Or maybe some students say, oh, like that lah, so open bracket. Okay, no, this is not the right way. The right way to write it is like this. You write the square here. Okay. So what's the meaning of sine square? Sine x times sine x. Okay, continue here. So the next baris I will do is I will expand. Which one can expand? Did you see it? The 1 plus cos x square can expand, right? So expand that. Okay. Okay, so I will draw a line. Okay, I will expand this. 1 plus cos x square. How do you expand? You take 1 square, you will get 1, and then you will take 1 times cos x times 2. That's the method. So 1 times cos x times 2, which is cos x. And then the last step is you take the cos x and then you square. So cos x times cos x is cos x square, but you don't write the square where you write the square here. Like that, cos square x. And then plus sine square x. And then over, okay, this sine x 1 plus cos x can expand also, right? But I won't. I will not expand. I will not expand. And I'll tell you why later. Okay? I will tell you why later. So I'll tell you why is it better to not expand. It's because I saw one thing already. This one plus this one. You can see this is the, I can use basic identity for this. So you remember you learn about basic identity. This formula is given in the exam. Okay. But usually I teach my student, I tell my student to hafal one. Okay. So the first one is sine square x plus cos square x equals 1. That's the first formula under basic identities. And look at this. Sine square plus cos square. So can cut jadi 1. And when you cut jadi 1, you left with 1 plus 2 cos x plus 1. And then bawah just now I said better not to expand, right? I'm sure you slowly can see already why I said don't expand. Because look at this. 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2 cos x. And then what happens to 2 plus 2 cos x? You factorize. When you factorize out the 2, you left with 1 plus cos x. And then can cut. That's why I don't expand. That's why I didn't expand. So I leave it like this. And then I factorize out the 2. Okay, and the reason for that is because when I factorize out the 2, I will left with 1 plus cos x. Because 2 divide 2 is 1, and then 2 cos x divide 2 is just cos x. Okay, if you're not sure, you can try to expand this. And if you expand, you dapat balik atas ni, right? That's how you know you sudah betul lah. Okay, over sine x and then bracket 1 plus cos x. And as you can see, boleh potong. Boleh cut. But I will not cut because this is a proving question. Proving question, usually you need to show every step clearly one. So yeah, usually I don't recommend students to just cut it like that. Okay, I'll just cut it in my head lah, basically. Yeah. So you left with 2 over sine x, and don't stop here, please. What you want is 2 cosec x, right? So yeah, continue. 2 times 2 bahagi sine x, it means 2 bracket 1 over sine x. Agree, right? Because 2 times 1 over sine x, when you multiply it like that. And then what is 1 over sine x? Cosec. Right hand side. So I start from the left hand side, and then I blah blah blah. I do all this, and then I sudah berjaya tukar jadi right hand side. So proven lah. Okay. So that's the answer. Okay. So we want the answer to be 2 cosec x. So that's my final answer. Okay, let's do C. C says by using trigonometric ratio, find the value of cos 480 degrees. What does it mean by trigonometric ratio? Uh, it means they want you to use the sin cos tan table to solve this question. Okay, but tak apa, kita try to do the cos 480 first. Okay. Okay, of course you cannot just go calculator and then tekan cos 480 and then write the answer here. Cannot. You will not get full. Excuse me. You will not get full mark if you do like that. The correct way to do it is, so it's worth 3 marks. The correct way to do it is you have to determine is which quadrant first, and after you determine is which quadrant, and if it's not quadrant one, you find out the reference angle in quadrant one. And then you continue from there. That's the correct way to do it. So I repeat one more time. Determine whether the angle which quadrant first, and if it's not quadrant one, find the reference angle in quadrant one, and then continue from there. Okay, tell me which quadrant is this? Okay, you are not able to tell me now, right? You can't tell me now. It's like it's not you are not able to tell me now because the angle is more than 360. Okay, so what I will do is I will minus 360. Okay, and when you minus 360, nothing will happen to the sign. It will not, the plus minus will not change, because when you minus 360 you minus one circle. Okay, so now I minus 360, and kenapa saya buat macam tu? Because I want to know which quadrant is the angle. So I get 120. Okay, now I reach here, now I can see it already, which quadrant. 120 is more than 90 but lesser than 180, so this is quadrant 2. And when it's quadrant 2, how do you find the reference angle in quadrant 1? You take 180 minus. Okay, so 180 minus, kena hafal lah. This one you memang kena tahu. Kalau quadrant 2 change to quadrant 1, it's 180 minus. Okay, but you can see I leave a lot of empty space here, and it's because you need to check whether it's positive or negative. So when it's cos second quadrant, you have to put negative here. Okay, because add sugar to coffee, so second quadrant only sign positive. When you do cos second quadrant angle, it will come out negative, right? That, and the negative you put it here. When you do 180 minus, you find the reference angle, you will get negative cos 60 lah. In other words, cos 120 and cos 60 will give you the same answer but different sign. Cos 60 and cos 120 sama jawapan tapi tanda tak sama. Sebab cos 60 first quadrant dia positif, tapi cos 120 cos second quadrant tak sama tanda, cos second quadrant negatif. Sebab tu kena letak negatif sini, right? Okay, not now we already get the first quadrant angle. Now we can see that cos 60, this is this angle 60 degree is a special angle. Why I say it's a special angle? Because it's an angle that I ask students to hafal. Yeah, I asked my students to hafal. So actually I give them the 2 tables. Okay, this is notes. Yeah, this is not the working, this is the notes. Okay. This is how I teach my student. I give them 2 tables, and I ask them to memorize all these values. Okay, because these are special angles. Okay. Okay, so I will draw it out now for you. This one is 30, 45, 60. 30, 45. Okay, one more like that. Okay, so this one is sin cos 10 theta 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 line 0 line 90 line 180 line 270 line 360. Okay, for this is also same, sin theta cos theta tangent theta, and this one is 30, 45, 60. And I always tell my students to memorize all these values, right? All these values. So sine 0, 0, sine 90, 1, sine 0, sine negative 1, 0. Yeah, because I memorized already, that's why I'm able to just write it. This one is 1, cos 90 is 0, 180 is negative 1, this one is 0, this one is 1. Okay. Because of the shape of the cos graph, you remember the underwear shape, so it's like 1, 0, negative 1, 0, 1. Like that. Okay, for tangent, tangent 0 is 0. Tangent 180 also 0. Tangent 360 also 0. Tangent 90 will be math error. So infinity. Tangent 270 is also math error. So it's a negative infinity. Okay, okay, for 30, 45, 60, this is another table. This one also I ask student to hafal a lot. Okay. In maths also you need to hafal. In Addmaths also you need to hafal. Even if you don't take Addmaths also you need to hafal this. Okay. Okay, sine 30 punya jawapan will be same with cos 60, which is 1 over 2. Okay, yeah, I already hafal it, so I can just write it lah. Sine 60 will be same with cos 30, which is sec 3 over 2. Sec 3 over 2. Okay, and then sine 45 answer will be same with cos 45, which is 1 over sec 2. Okay, but of course you can use your calculator also. Because if you tekan sine 60, they will give you this also. Okay, yeah, but you need to make sure you do this part of the working also, because yeah, if you want to get full mark you need to do this part. Oh, one more thing, if you tekan sine 45 in your calculator, they won't give you 1 over sec 2, they will give you sec 2 over 2, but it's the same thing, because if you after you rationalize, when you rationalize this you will get sec 2 over 2 also. So yeah, just pointing it out so that none of you freak out when you tekan calculator later you talk you think it's different, but it's actually the same thing. Okay, tangent 30 is 1 over sec 3, and then this one is 1, this one is sec 3. Okay, okay, nothing much to explain here, just memorize it, you must memorize it. Okay, this one you memang kena tahu lah. So I'm sure you know the answer already. Cos 60 just refer here, 1 over 2. So that's the answer. Okay, so kalau you ada hafal you boleh terus buat, terus tulis jawapan dia. Okay, that's all. Oh, kertas peperiksaan tamat. Alright, I'll see you next video. Bye bye.